and the extent to which he judged it cleanly and took it so casually, then flipped it to the umpires to say, yeah, that was just, you know, like bending down and picking a rose from my garden. If your garden has roses. Saad Ali, the captain, is in. Immediately off the mark.
He's in such a fluid state of rhythm, Saad Ali. He's the exact guy you want in these situations because he can turn it on in a hurry, but his more natural game, or historically more natural game, is to take his time, get set, and he doesn't play rash shots. All of his scoring regions are seeming off conventional, traditional cricketing strokes that minimize risk and maximize reward.
Saad Ali, one of the more recent innings that he played was that last match in the Super 8s in Grand Prairie, 75 from 44, going by memory. So that is evidence that he can turn it on if need be. Can bat relatively normally, but to the extent that when you have the opportunity to push on if you need to, he does have that gear also.
And again, batting with Millen, another individual who can churn through both gears. And when you talk about pressure, you want folks who have been in those moments to be in that situation. Well, the Kingsmen are under immense pressure.
Khulle Sher. Something about his technique that just makes it appear that he has so much time to play his shots. That ball bounced relatively awkwardly on him, just still angling the bat, getting on top of the bounce, and then still getting a single out of the deal. Just a really, and I said this a couple of yesterday when 𝗏𝗏 was batting, and I think I jinxed him. But he's very easy on the eyes. Absolutely love to see them both bat.
Khulle Sher led the Ranji Trophy in runs back in 2018. So he's got plenty of confidence and plenty of scoring options. And then not to mention that 155 against Canada that he hit, just, again, bludgeoned the ball all over the park.
There is that. And Dylan Heliger will not in any way remember or forget that game anytime soon, probably to his detriment, because the better he would like, oh, no ball. Did I miss that? A no ball and no free hit. My apologies. Missed that live on Man Patel.
Late signal as well. And not ideal for Khulle Sher. You mentioned that they're probably well ahead. You take 3 in the power play and you're thinking, okay, we're in a good spot. But when you have a Kingsman batting order that's as deep as it is, that you still haven't seen Hassan Khan out of. Mohammad Ilyas provides you a lot with the bat as well. 𝗂𝗏 been in insane form along with 𝗬𝗏𝗏.
Yep.
Well, you've got to contend now. And you give away pressure like this, well, you'll be in trouble.
Skied. He'll probably let this land.
Yes!
He does take the catch, but obviously with it being a free hit, just a single. And the one name that you did not call in that middle order actually has scored test centuries, Nkrumah Bonner, who is going to be part of the middle order and is somebody who, while not currently in the West Indies setup, has that pedigree.
And that's why for Khulle Sher, you cannot take your foot off the neck. You can't take your foot off the gas either because there's so much depth. And with the Khulle Sher, they just lack the same kind of batting depth. So you don't want to be chasing out anywhere upwards of 150.
Fluid, languid, absolutely brilliant. But they're in a bit of trouble here. Long batting lineup, as you talked about, Aman, but currently advantage, I would think, goes to Khulle Sher. End of over number 5, 34 for 3. So 5 overs in the books. Hassan Patel, after his first spell, is taking a bit of a break, and it is going to be Nate Hayes joining me here in the commentary area. 𝗧 𝗦𝗽liche helps one off his hip to start the final over of the power play. 35 runs on the board. Nate Hayes, do you agree or disagree with Hassan and me that things have gone the way of Khulle Sher so far?
Oh, absolutely. But I think this is the pair that you want of anybody to recover the innings. Milind and 𝗧, they're so class. They have so many gears. Right now, they know exactly what to do, and they're capable of getting it done.
It also helps from your standpoint, if you are the Kingsmen, that you have a lefty and a righty at the same time. You have a trio of young bowlers. You saw Amandeep Singh earlier, who went for Aditya Patel rather, who went for a few runs. And you would think that he may have trouble finding the right line if you have a lefty and a righty at the crease at the same time. A single down the ground, but on balance, you think, and I think you're exactly right, you have the pair at the wicket that you want to be able to steady the ship.
Yeah, 100%. How good has 𝗧 𝗦𝗽liche been the last couple of years? He just wrapped up a really good minor league after last season. He had a phenomenal minor league. You gotta think we'll see him in a major league team this year.
Well, I don't know. There's room in Major League Cricket for a classist stroke maker, left-hander, and can also give you some off-spin sometimes. In my mind, he's the type of batter who has a class or has a home in any side, whether it be T20 or a longer version, maybe a 50-over match. Just really solid batter. Full toss, played into the offside, no run.
Yeah, it's tricky at that major league level. You know, the teams are going to pick the players that they need to fill roles. There's only 6 squads. And sometimes you look around and you say, wow, how's this guy not on the team? How's that guy not on the team? And a lot of times it's just the luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw certainly has something to do with it, as Zaid Alam will be into his second over here. Relatively expensive first over. First over going for 9 runs, but doing a little bit better here. Full outside the line of off. 𝗧 𝗦𝗽liche coming up empty on the drive.
It's interesting to see Ryan Scott with the gloves when you caught Christopher Van Tol on the team. But that's nice to see that variety. We're seeing a little bit of everything here in the Atlanta Open. We've seen Jamar Hamilton throwing himself all around the outfield.
Down the leg side, fumbled, not cleanly picked up, but it's going to be a wide anyway. Tell you what, the effort by Ryan Scott there saved a few more runs. That may well have gone to the boundary had he not stopped that.
Yeah, very well stopped.
So you mentioned Christopher Van Tol. For those of us who are not familiar with him, and that would include me, maybe after the over you let me know a little bit more about him as a keeper. That's driven through the cover. Will that have the legs to go to the rope? It will not, but they jog through for a second run. You see 𝗧 𝗦𝗽liche. Maybe it's just time for him to start warming up. 9, make that 8 from 9 for 𝗧 𝗦𝗽liche. End of over number 7, make that over number 6, 39 for 3. So end of the power play, 39 for 3. I think you might have some leg spin in your near future. Pay attention to that as we get through the next couple of phases of this match. Christopher Van Tol, tell us about him.
Well, he's not in the 11 today. He's listed as a sub, but very tall wicketkeeper. Played a lot in the East in minor league until this year. Had previously played for the Philadelphians opening batter. He loves to use his length when the spinners come in. And I'll tell you what, he's gotten, I can't tell you how many games I watched in minor league where he got off to a good start in the 20s, and you're thinking this guy's going to score huge, and then bad luck occurs. Well, this past season he converted a couple innings in the 50s, but with the gloves he's a lot of fun to watch because of the fact that he's not built like your typical wicketkeeper. He's tall, his legs are long, but he's very good. He's got great reach, great ability to move, and you know, we saw a game this season where he fields a ball from the deep and bounced past it through his legs to onto the stumps. It was like watching the Harlem Globetrotters. So he's very exciting. I got to tell you what, though. I think Ryan Scott's done quite well with the gloves back there.
He has. You saw that save that, in my mind, at least saved 4 runs. I have a couple others that he didn't collect cleanly, but for the most part, he's been creditable behind the stumps. Now, changing strategy here for the captain. For a split second, he thought about going to the leggy Sarbjit Ladder. We were talking about him earlier, but they've made a change and now gone to Simranjit Singh, the U21 player who took that spectacular catch earlier on. Now coming in to bowl from the southern end of the ground. Bowling to Milind Kumar. He's a single in the end. Let's see whether or not this is a leg bye. It is, in fact, a leg bye. So 1 extra to start over number 7.
And how good Milind has been for USA. He's just been absolutely phenomenal, both with the bat and the ball. And I got to tell you what, one of the best fielders in the country too.
Not only one of the best fielders, and you're including throwing the ball, I'm assuming, in when your categorization of the word fielder.
Yes.
He is not physically very big. He throws the ball as though he were a 6'5", 200-pound fast bowler.
He throws it very, very quickly and very far and very straight and very accurate. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him make a throw while he's on the move at the boundary, collecting the ball and just zip it in all the way to the other end from a position like long off or long on, and it's just crazy.
They look for 2 here. They took off. The coaches will say run the first one hard. Oh, absolutely tragic. You'd not think that 2 batters of this repute would get caught up in such a horrible mix-up, but that is the end of Saad Ali.
Oh, what a job this was. We had, as we said, the 2 batsmen you would want for the situation out there, and now one of them is going to have to go back. This was the time to recollect the innings and keep your wickets, and that's not what happened.
You like the fact that they ran the first one hard. What you like less is the lack of communication between them in deciding whether or not to go for that second run. Milind Kumar was happy with 1. Saad Ali was pushing for the second, found himself halfway down the pitch when that throw came in from the offside, and that is absolutely tragic. Don't ever want to lose your wicket by way of a run out, but this one, boy, you'd have to think this was avoidable.
It was 100% avoidable. Just a mismatch of intent between the 2.
So you're just 8 deliveries out of the power play. You've already lost 4 wickets. Yes, you bat deep. Yes, you bat long. Yes, you just have a former West Indian Test player now coming to the wicket, Nkrumah Bonner. But my goodness, you don't want to have had him come to the crease on the back of such, I think, a farcical run out.
Absolutely. Bonner coming in. Now he inherits the difficult job, and it's a little bit harder.
And things just got marginally, and just marginally, easier for the bowling side because there are now 2 right-handers at the crease. He had the lefty-righty combination before. That could have contributed to a couple of the wides that you saw. And on the leg side, I believe that may have just flicked the pad on the way through to the wicket-keeper. Mr. Bonner is appealing in the other direction. He wants a wide, but I think umpire 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗂𝗵𝗃 thinks that this would have clipped against the thigh pad. So a lot happening in the last several overs, Nate, and some ebbs and flows, but for the most part, it feels like Khulle Sher has had the upper hand in this match so far. Yes, anything can happen. Let's have that as a qualifier, but they're certainly doing the right things here.
I think if there was any question of whether or not they had the upper hand, they definitely answered that question by getting Saad Ali out. What a humongous wicket that is anytime.
Nate, I hate to disagree with you. Saad Ali got Saad Ali out. That had very little to do with Khulle Sher. And that was just miscommunication and a horrific run out that in all likelihood should not have happened. And you don't like to see that happen at any level, and particularly not at this level.
So what you're saying, Brian, is Khulle Sher is not so much ahead as the Kingsmen are behind.
I am willing to stipulate to that. If you're under pressure, the last thing you want to do is help the opposition get you wickets. End of over number 7. The score is 43 for 4.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tariq Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Put 3 runs on the board. 7 to 8 balls remaining in the first innings here in this matchup between the Kingsmen and Khulle Sher. As a reminder, if we look at the standings of where we are, Khulle Sher is at the bottom of Group B. They played 2, not yet won 1. The Kingsmen are just above Khulle Sher in Group B. They've played 2, they've won 1 and lost 1. So the winner of this match, if you ignore net run rate for just a second, will move into a tie for that last spot. But as you heard Aman Patel say earlier, this is not going to be enough. You need, first of all, the loser of this match probably does not have a chance to advance in the tournament. Sarbjit Lada is the man on strike, the man with the ball in hand to bowl over number 8. And at first delivery here, Nate Hayes could easily have resulted in another run out.
Absolutely, what a disaster that would have been.
Yeah.
But you can see Khulle Sher's.
Oh, my apologies. That is Amandeep Singh, who is bowling from the northern end of the ground. I'm sorry, interrupted your thought. Finish, please.
I can't remember what I was saying. No, I'm just kidding.
I have no idea what I was saying.
No. I think, yeah, looking back, this Khulle Sher's team lost their first game of the tournament against Atlanta Lightning. Lightning looked absolutely unstoppable.
Tell you what, that's a single down the ground. He's not very far away from almost having yarked himself there. Milind Kumar looking to attack the youngster. Amandeep Singh is a U21 player, so relatively inexperienced as compared to a Milind Kumar. Almost got the better of him there. Up and over cover, and that goes for 4.
Just a classy, effortless shot by Bonner. Looked like he was just taking practice right there, didn't it?
It did. It's a shot that has been played a couple of times in this match already from Ramiz Raja. Scored a 4 and in fact 2 4s and a 6 in that very same area. Bonner this time just making sure that it clears the fielder at short cover. Always going to be 4. They might look for 2 here. They do come back for the second run, and they put pressure on the fielder coming around from long on, and that makes it easy to get 2 runs.
The hands there from Bonner, just nudging that along at just enough power to get 2. Just fully under control, isn't he?
Not to be unexpected from a former Test player. Nkrumah Bonner, still a relatively young man. Good piece of work at short third. Get a single to close out over number 8. 9 runs come from the over. 50 up, by the way. We did not acknowledge that in that over. 52 for 4 after 9. After 8. My apologies.
Well, you see Ryan Scott there. He didn't play in that first game. Khulle Sher played against the Lightning. It is something else when you got Ryan Scott in your squad and he's on the bench. But that is how deep this tournament is. This tournament is just like a who's who of cricket here in USA in Atlanta. And I'll tell you what, you can't underestimate, after you watch this, after you come here and you see all this talent all together in one place, and you follow minor league and you follow the Atlanta Open, you can't underestimate how good our cricketers are here in the USA.
You can't. Probably some measure of the depth of cricket in this country that somebody like Ryan Scott does not yet have a space on a major league team. Ryan Scott, left-handed power hitter. Not very tall, but hits the ball really, really hard. Strikes it a mile. And I'll tell you, you've seen the effort from him. I saw in Prairie View 2 or 3 seasons ago now. He scored 100 in maybe 65 or so balls. Absolutely clean ball striking then.
Well, for a period of time, he had the minor league record for the fastest 100.
That may be the one I'm referring to.
Yeah, he was speedy. I think it has been since matched or broken. I know it's been since matched at least by 𝗿𝗂𝗄𝗏. Since then, I'm not sure who now is the current record holder, but it just goes to show you what he's capable of.
So it's time to rebuild. Lost a lot of wickets. Yes, you wanted Milind Kumar and Saad Ali to bat together for a long time. That opportunity has gone away, but you do still have Milind 12 from 14 and Bonner now 10 from 9. And they have the opportunity to put together. You'd want for them ideally to bat through maybe the 13th, 14th innings, over rather. And you want to see whether or not they can accelerate past that stage. Another dot ball fizzes into the gloves of Ryan Scott.
Well, Brian, as a big baseball fan, as someone with a baseball background, when you said 13, 14, you know how many times I have to keep myself from saying innings when I'm talking about overs?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel you there. Maybe I'm rubbing off on you.
That may well be the case. Short delivery. That is not one that you can bowl to Milind Kumar very often and get away with it.
I didn't get away with it there as it went all the way for 6 runs. And Milind right now on top of a run-a-ball rate.
Boy, that ball was there to be hit. It sat up and begged. Not a lot of pace in the wicket, and that ball bounced no higher than maybe waist height. And a batter of Milind Kumar's capabilities is not going to in any way be threatened by that type of ball. Worked it into the leg side. They take off running immediately for 2. I'll give credit to Bonner on that. Absolutely creating the opportunity for that second run. Excellent work from the former West Indian middle order batter. End of over number 9, 61 for 4.
You just saw a lot on your screen there. I've said it a couple of times now. It's this who's who of American cricket right now. Everywhere you look, you can think of memorable innings or games.
By the way, that last shot that we just saw before this current shot was a shot of Peter Nero, international ICC certified. I say certified. He has probably officiated dozens, if not hundreds, of high-level, top-level ICC-oriented matches, and is here working with the umpires of this tournament, providing some guidance, providing some feedback, and generally working to help lift the standard of umpiring in this country and in this tournament, which I think is an absolutely brilliant objective. Going back here to Amandeep Singh to bowl over number 10. In that area again. Oh, that is about the most sloppy piece of fielding that you will see. You do not blame Amandeep Singh one bit for being as irritated as he appears to be.
Oh, this was one run the whole way until it wasn't.
Yeah, that I don't know necessarily that it's the misfield that irritated Amandeep Singh. It is essentially the not appearing to have any sense of urgency to try to get the misfield and having it trickle over the ropes for a boundary. And then we'll make that a wide, bowled here by Amandeep Singh.
Yeah, you know, every run is valuable right now. And that's 3 more they could have had to not have to chase down.
Dragged into the gap. Oh, what an absolutely brilliant save in the outfield. Well, 2 different times in this over, you've seen the 2 different spectrums of what fielding looks like. That is Agni Chopra in the outfield, who dove and prevented a certain 4 runs.
Actually, it's 𝗂𝗃 Malhotra.
Ah, okay.
And he has some big mitts, let me tell you. He's got some big hands, and he stopped that one with one of them.
Driven down the ground. This may get close to the rope. Won't get there. And I just realized in my defense that there are 2 number 3s on the roster, which is unfair.
There are 2 number 3s, and Brian, you are the one guy I know who really pays attention to whose number is what. So this is why you can't have 2 the same numbers in the same team. That's exactly why.
What is Virat Kohli's number? 45. I cannot tell you the number of youth tournaments that I commentate on where there's like 5 number 45s on the roster. It is so annoying. Let me get off my soapbox. That's a single down the ground. My goodness. Anyway, so back to where we are now. 70 runs on the board, 2 balls remaining in over number 10. Maybe a little bit of stabilizing of the innings by this pair. Nkrumah Bonner and Milind Kumar looking to see whether or not they can set themselves up for a launch later on. Overall scoring rate is actually not very bad, Nate Hayes. 7.22. The projection there would be 144.
Yeah, and that 4 to start the over. Really didn't need that. Didn't need that at all.
This is now the last ball of over number 10. Down the track and straight down the ground for yet another boundary. Umpire waiting to confirm, and in fact there is the confirmation. It goes for 4, so it ends up being a very expensive over. 14 came from it. Halfway through the innings, 75 for 4.
And we've got quite a game on our hands. It's been a bit of everything, Nate. We've seen early wickets, we've seen some late flourishes, and now we'll get to see Sarbjit Ladda come in with ball in hand, the leg spinner, for the very first time today.
I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for them to hand the ball over to Ladda. Let's see if he can get a breakthrough here. As Bonner and Milind Kumar have done a great job here the last few overs.
Milind is so quick out of the blocks there. Milind would have seen a lot of Ladda when they both were in the East for minor league cricket. Of course, Kumar as a member of the Philadelphians, Sarbjit Ladda as a member of the former DC Hawks franchise.
Yeah, now Ladda in the South and Milind himself in the Central. So there's movement all the time in minor league.
And Milind is such a tremendous player of spin, as you see in this field. He would really fancy this matchup.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think this is really good for the Kingsmen to have Milind Kumar in right now, just to navigate these innings. In the meantime, he gets his eye in, and then if you can get past that 15th over or so and Milind's still in the middle, you could expect some serious damage.
Yeah, we've all seen Milind Kumar work through gears, so that's why it's so important now for Sarbjit Ladda to strike. Very first over. Surprised to see him bowling this late, though, Nate.
Absolutely. Very surprised. The 11th over, taking the ball for the first time. I don't know if we'll see the entire quota of Ladda. We're not used to seeing that. We're used to seeing him bowl. He should be on his third over by now in most games.
Tremendous use of the feet and gets rewarded for it.
As you mentioned, Milind so good against spin, showing you exactly why right there. He's decisive, moves his feet well. And you will have seen some phenomenal spin with Team USA.
Oh, nearly. Nearly.
𝗂𝗍, he ran back to try to get, well, he backpedaled to try to get to this ball, and it just went right through his hands. It looked like, or just over the top of his outreached hands. Let's take a look here. The question for me is, he was off the boundary line by, looked like a good distance.
It's a great manipulation from Milind Kumar. Use his feet, meet the ball in the full, knowing Ladda will have to pull the length back. Sat deep in the crease, rewarded with back-to-back boundaries. And maybe this is why we haven't seen a lot of Sarbjit Singh. First over expensive, just 14 he's conceded. Don't see that too often. It's 89 for 4.
That's back-to-back 14-run overs for the Kingsmen. They really put it into the next gear here. You can take a look there at the towers. 9-9, 14-14.
Not too often you've seen at this ground multiple, or at least consecutive, 14-plus run overs, Nate.
We haven't seen it in the games that we did earlier today, that's for sure. A little bit of a delay in the middle as everybody's getting their gear sorted out.
Yeah, they called for some water, the Kingsmen batters, and the sub had initially run halfway on the field without the water in hand. So here's your other leg spinner. Malhotra's got the ball. Again, it just feels so late to be bringing on your two premier leg spinners for the very first time.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, you know, you do have the two righties out there in the middle right now. I can understand maybe waiting while Saad Ali was in the middle, but it's been a few overs since then.
God, 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 is just a rocket.
He runs so well. He really does the little things very well. They have no real pressure right now on the Kingsmen. They haven't faced a dot ball since the 9th over.
Again, you look at 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃's success, it's because of this part of his game where in the middle overs, there might not be a better batter in the middle. Play that, says Sahib Malhotra.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is, you know, one of the reasons why he's been just about an automatic selection for USA in recent tours. Whew.
Excellently placed.
Just on cue right there after I talk about how he's been so reliable for USA.
You look at that shot, he's got to go up and over fine leg, and then he's got to place it around enough and straight enough to keep it away from backwards square. Right over to Brian Walters and company. This time through cover, one bounce over the rope. And a 50 comes up for 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃. Sensational work from the American national.
50 for 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 moves them to 99, and this has been a great job by this pair. Look at that ball follow, very good. Just such a pretty shot.
Just frustrating. These Khulle Sher, they don't know what to do with 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃. 51 off of 30.
It's the ease that he's gotten it to me. These aren't the greatest conditions, but 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 has just looked so in control, and we bring up the 100 there.
𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃 pushes for the second run. Exceptional running. Another expensive over from a leg spinner. 13 this time. It's 102 for 4.
The Kingsmen really over this game. After falling behind there with that, when that 4th wicket fell, things were looking really hairy.
Yeah, Khulle Sher would have felt really ahead of the game. 3 wickets in the power play. You run out Saad Ali, who is the most in-form player. And now 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃. Again, this is why you didn't panic if you're a Kingsman fan, because he has so much experience, but he also just seemingly is a big match player. And when the moment gets bigger, or when there's a bigger collapse, he seemingly is always able to put his hand up.
Just a complete cricketer. We'll see him probably with the ball in the second innings, or we're likely to see him with the ball. We'll definitely see him make an impact in the field. He always seems to.
Yeah, talk about his impact in the field. Directly think about USA-Pakistan and what he did in that super over.
Yeah, he's something special, that's for sure.
Simranjit Singh. Starts off with an extra. What is the formula here for Khulle Sher? What do they want to keep the Kingsmen to?
Well, you've got a long way to go. I think they're on their way to a score bigger than they would have wanted them to keep them to.
Cheeky, innovative, and productive for 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Just a crafty shot. by Millen. And this partnership just does not look bothered. They just do not look bothered at all. You know, this is our 4th game that we've done, Juan. This is probably the most composed partnership I've seen so far.
That's right up there with the 𝗂𝗫𝗄𝗃 and 𝗬𝗫 𝗫𝗂𝐽 partnership from yesterday out in field 5. Beats the infield. Just will plug up. I'd also think about the 𝗬𝗫 partnership that was here yesterday. Seen some brilliant cricket over just 2 days now, Nate.
Oh, yeah. It's all happening here at the 𝗃𝗵𝐴𝐴𝑟 Cricket Complex from the Atlanta Open. If you're in the area, definitely come by. If you're in the Atlanta area. Simmerjeet's first over went, I think, around 4 runs. Since then, he went for 9, and now this one he's at 8. Yeah. So everybody's expensive right now. You got 9, 9, 14, 14, and 13 for your last 5 overs.
Exactly what the Kingsmen want at this stage. Again, you can see Millen Kumar just, I see him on the scoreboard. They're always keeping that in mind. 110. You get upwards of 160. Don't reckon it's going to get much better for Khulle Sher in terms of that win column.
There you go, only your 2nd dot ball since the 9th over there. You need to build that pressure with dots. If you're Khulle Sher, it's just not happening.
Wrong end. Needed to go to the non-strikers end. That's where the confusion was.
So make that 9 on the over now. Just how effortlessly this partnership has scored these big runs in these overs, just while rotating strike as well.
It's just so odd to just see the 1 over of Sarvjit Ladda as well. I know he went for 14, but you just reckon someone of his caliber, even if he has 1 bad over, he warrants another look.
Well, you need wickets right now to slow down this partnership, to break this partnership. You need wickets. It's the only way I think you're going to get the run rate down a bit, as these two just show signs of heating up more and more. And I don't know if there's anybody that takes wickets better than Sarvjit Ladda.
Close with 13, 113 for 4. Change of ends for Sarvjit Ladda. Why do you reckon they've changed the end, Nate?
Probably, well, it's quite possible that Sarvjit Ladda asked him to. Well, he is particular about his ends, but I think they just want the bigger ground, the bigger side of the ground for the righties to have to attack.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Again, you look at that field there. They've packed that big region at mid-wicket and square leg and long on. Oh. 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗧.
Man, that could have been bad. That came back like a rocket right at him. I think he's saying he lost it in the white tent.
This was an absolute rocket. And just had to try to get out the way. Luckily, no serious injuries were involved. Short. Run out.
Well, there's your first sniff of danger in a long, long time. And it's 𝗏𝗏 that gets it. It's just the one run, but that's the closest they've come to striking for a while.
Fielder. He just comes around, cuts it to one. Great adjustment here from 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗧 in this over.
Yeah, we said it. He's the first minor leaguer to 100 wickets. Just takes them with such great regularity.
Bonner seemingly struggling last couple of overs. We saw him had to drench his face, maybe just fatigued with the heat. Fortunate to get any bit of bat on that. Did not pick it at all.
Well, Lamont, that's the #1 way to get out to 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗧 is to try to come down the pitch. How often do we see the ball turn away from the batter and into the hands of the keeper? When people try that, that's danger. You're into dangerous territory when you're doing that.
Yeah, that's why 𝗏𝗏 we'll just go have a word with Bonner now. Just tell him not to leave his crease. That's what 𝗏𝗏 wants. He's trying to promote that movement, that shuffle down the track. Deeper in the crease, deeper in the field, and just the one run available. Probably a bit slow, both members there. 14 overs gone, 117 for 4.
Well, there you go. That's how you bring some pressure back. These two were going along easily, just gliding through the innings and scoring heaps of runs in the process. You see Millen right there at 61 from 36. Well, you got to put pressure on, and you do that with dot balls. You had 2 that last over, 4 total runs off of it. But is it a little bit too late with Millen's eye in the way that it is?
It's not too late until this over is bowled. And the reason I say that is you now have built some pressure, but you need someone to maintain it or at least capitalize on it. So who is that option? Do you go to one of your seamers? Do you look at a Zayd Alam? Do you go to Sahib Malhotra? Are you willing to bowl Abdullah Ghazi's last here? You need to be able to break this partnership, and you need this over to be well executed.
Yeah, and I think you want to keep Kingsmen under 150 if you can. I think that even that's a high score. But at this phase, I think if you go from 117 for 4 at 14th, at the end of the 14th over, and you can limit them to under 150 at the end, I think you'll have done something special, or you'll have done pretty good at least.
Just a change of end for each leg spinner. Intriguing decision. Why is Malhotra going to be more successful this end compared to where it was last over?
Well, maybe we'll find out. I think Sahib is going to put a little more zip on it. And because of that, I think you're more likely to play him to the offside. That's the bigger side of the ground here from this end.
Maybe even implore batters to try to get across and be late or let that ball bounce over the top, given his extra zip, extra height. If you're the Kingsmen, what's the minimum score you'd be happy with from this point?
I think if you're the Kingsmen, I think you want to get to a 160. But I also think you have to be telling yourself we can get a lot more than that, too.
And this is what we're talking about, the way Malhotra's touch shorter but quicker. It's not going to really allow 𝗵𝗺𝗀 to rock back and take a big whack rather than just play it along the carpet. Really solid partnership that's just continuously churned through the runs. Haven't allowed there to be much buildup of pressure. And this partnership's already worth in the 90s. I mean, this is sensational stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely sensational partnership here. Just recovering from that 41 for 4 position, piling on 80 runs together.
Bonner wanted a wide. Bonner's unhappy. It was close. I give you that. Misfield. Misfield. Can't afford those. You might not get 𝗵𝗺𝗀 run out, but you've just got to make it a question.
Yeah, with Millen coming from the other end, that has to be absolutely perfect for you to even have a chance, and it was anything but. You gotta love those soft hands from Bonner to play that there and know that he had enough time.
And just maneuvering, just working their way through. 6 runs from over number 15, 123 for 4. Final phase of this first innings, and now I'm joined by Brian Walters. Brian, 123 on the board for the Kingsmen. What's the minimum you're looking at?
Their current run rate is 8.2. That translates to a score of 164. But you remember about an hour ago, you and I were talking about 164 as though it was the upper end of where they could get. This pair has put on 81 runs in a brilliant partnership. Yes, you did not like the fact that you lost Saad Ali in comical fashion, but this pair has put you in the position now that if you score 9 and over from here, you're close to 170. 10 and over gets you to 173, 174. To me, 170 would be the minimum that you'd be looking for from here.
Return of Adi Patel. Remember, his first over was taken apart by Ramiz Raja. Gave up 15 thanks to 3 boundaries.
Well, Bonner and particularly Milind Kumar will need or want to remind him of that first over. And I would not be surprised if they were to look ultra aggressive here. Good running between the wickets for these two.
Yeah, tremendous stuff from Milind Kumar and Bonner. Their communication has been absolutely sensational.
It has been, and I hate to keep picking on 𝗬𝗏𝗧. The running between the wickets between these two has been crisp. It has been assured as compared to that run out that you had with 𝗬𝗏𝗧. And they have judged these runs to perfection. So you see the opportunity for two. You see them sprint the first one hard and then put the pressure on the fielding side. That's part of what makes, in my mind, almost a match-winning type of partnership, which is what this one looks like to me.
Incredibly intelligent for Milind Kumar. Fine leg was pushed very wide and into the deep, and just helps himself.
Helps himself to 4 runs. It is a shot that you and I have both seen Milind Kumar play with regularity. So easy for him to step inside the line, that length, and by definition, it's a premeditated shot. So you're banking on the fact that Adi Patel is going to bowl a short of length delivery. But once you get inside the line and you get that length, it's pretty easy for him to put it away for 4. Interestingly now, moving a fine leg much finer. Short fine leg is almost like a deep leg slip to essentially prevent that type of shot.
In action straight away is 𝗍. To your point about running, I also think it's Bonner's ability to say no that might be the biggest difference. It felt like 𝗬𝗏𝗧 was just running because Milind Kumar had said, okay, we're coming, and was a victim of Kumar's indecision, versus Bonner has basically said on multiple occasions, no, we're settling for 1 here.
Such an important part of it, and you can tell the experience that these two have is showing.
Oh, here we go. Trouble, trouble. Oh, needed a direct hit. Needed that to be a direct hit to be a commentator's curse.
That would have been the ultimate in commentators. It's been a while since I've taken somebody's wicket. That would have been under my column, no question. Because as we spoke so eloquently about how they run between the wickets, that was a mix-up that found them both in the center of the pitch.
Excellently carved. Brilliant from Milind Kumar.
How easy on the eyes is that? Saw that there's nobody in the deep on the offside and opening the face, getting it over the side, over point. See right there on that replay, opens the face, elevates the ball over backward point for one of the easiest boundaries that he's had all day. Moving well into the 70s. 74 from 42, 8 4s and 2 6s, Milind Kumar.
This time more authoritative. And this time it's 6.
Planting that front foot and going big down the ground. Look at this strike. Clean as a whistle. Maybe a one little shimmy to get closer to the pitch. But that goes right over the top. Had there been a long on, very, very straight, he might have been with a chance. But this is a clean strike from Milind Kumar. And that goes for 6, number 3 for him.
Close of over 16, it's 141 for 4.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Simranjit Singh to bowl over 17. Fielder in place, fielder in place. Excellently well judged. On the brink of a 100 partnership, Bonner loses his wicket.
Not often that you put on 99 runs for a wicket and then feel disappointed. But I think Nkrumah Bonner will be upset with the fact that he holed out deep to the man who's probably not going to drop that in that position, that is 𝗍𝗲𝗯. It was sinking as it got to him. It was struck firmly, but straight to 𝗍𝗲𝗯. All he had to do was just go down and take that. And so monster partnership comes to an end. The wicket falls with the score on 141 for 5. A brilliant 99-run partnership. It was worthy of the 100, but I think it did its job in pulling the Kingsmen out of trouble.
Yeah, no question. You can't be upset with Bonner's performance there. Now, the one thing the Kingsmen have that they're so luxurious for, you replace your former Test cricketer in Bonner, and you bring in Hassan Khan, maybe the best cricketer in all the United States, strides out into a situation that suits his batting style to a T. Hassan Khan, of course, has really come into his own and needs no introduction anymore. When he first came to the States in minor league cricket, it was his ridiculous average above 50 at a strike rate of 180, lower down the order, coupled with his ability to bowl left-arm orthodox. That said, man, this guy might be something special. And then fast forward a couple of months, gets taken with the second overall pick in the 24 Major League Cricket draft by the San Francisco Unicorns, and a Bart King Award or two later, he's in his position now as a name that everyone knows and everyone holds in high regard.
About the only thing that could save the Khulle Sher team here is that old phrase, one brings two. Because if this pair is allowed to bat to the end of the innings, you can see some fireworks. You see the ball striking ability that he has, Hassan Khan. As a righty looking to take on what is the shorter boundary on the leg side, he can clear any one of these fences. You just have to be very careful to not overpitch and not get it too straight to him.
He scores in a multitude of areas, which is also the biggest trick. Short, full, wide, or straight. This could be a chance. Just away. Just enough. And they'll come back for two.
It was in the air for a while. You would get the sense that it almost was just out of reach of the fielder running back from short cover, but it just cleared him. Maybe another yard and he might have been able to take it.
That'll be so disappointing for 𝗬𝗪𝗪𝗀𝒃 Singh, who was pumped around by Milind Kumar in his previous over. Gets out of the way nicely, Hassan Khan.
Taking evasive action there, Hassan Khan. Ball is traveling back at him at the rate of knots. Just want to make sure now that you attempt to recreate, obviously not the length partnership that Bonner and Milind Kumar did, but get something in the 8, 9, 10 runs on over range.
See you later.
Wow. Well, as I mentioned, as you see there, we'll see on this replay again. As I mentioned, you cannot be too straight to Hassan Khan. If it's in his pads, he will absolutely slaughter you. And again, that is the shorter side of the field. That is 65 yards out there. Look at this line. In fairness, it was not as bad a ball. He stepped over to the offside and essentially made it a ball on his pads. Maybe it was on the stumps. Maybe just you could marginally criticize and say it should have been outside off stump. But that was more about Hassan Khan.
Like you mentioned, smaller region of the ground. He needs no small boundaries, Hassan. Decent comeback, but it's excellently placed. Able to come back for two.
Excellent running. That is the end of over number 7. Last 3 coming up. 153 for 5.
.153 already on the board, Brian. We were again talking that 140, 150 would have been that upper echelon, and it's unbelievable how quickly things can change.
Well, you take a former top-scoring Ranji Trophy batter, pair him with a former West Indies middle-order batter, both still very young men, Milind Kumar being younger than Nkrumah Bonner, I would guess. But I don't think either of them has, in fact, I know for sure neither of them has gotten to 35, 36 years old yet. So still relatively fit, and they have the experience that allows them to bat long, bat to the situation, mix caution and aggression, and do what they needed to do to put that big partnership together.
𝗍𝗲𝗏 bowled a couple overs early, but hasn't been back. When he was last on to bowl, it was a very different game. 3 wickets in the power play. Now, 5 wickets in hand, 3 overs to go, and Milind Kumar and Hassan Khan just starting to flex their muscles. Telegraph.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say this. First of all, if you need the lotto numbers tonight, ask Ahmed Patel. Ahmed can give you his Twitter feed and you can let him. He called that off air. He called it right before it happened. Getting inside the line and scooping that one, in fairness, that is always on the cards with fine leg inside the circle.
Again, Milind Kumar is just such a cognizant cricketer. He's so aware of where your fielders are. Third inside, fine leg inside, seam up from 𝗍𝗲𝗏. He's so quick. He's using that to his advantage. And now he's manipulated the field. So fine leg is dropped. Square leg has come back in. And expect Milind Kumar to take advantage of this now.
He is such an intelligent cricketer. As I used this phrase the other day, the baseball phrase, hit him where they ain't. That is essentially what this game is about for Milind Kumar. And he does it with perfection.
Excellent Yorker. Tremendous execution. And will just be the one.
Boy, the wheels are turning. You are on the verge of 175 without much difficulty. In fact, with this pair, the acceleration that they can get toward the back end of the innings, you don't know that 185 or 190 is out of the equation at this stage.
Hassan Khan just got his guard on leg and middle stump, so expect him to continuously maneuver around the crease. And fine leg is back up inside the ring, and he's got a shot or two that can go over fine leg. Tremendous comeback from 𝗍𝗲𝗏. You get hit for 4 first up. It's not easy to come back.
It's not. You're able to find the right length. Length is so important with these two batters. If it is at a length that will allow them to get underneath the ball, then those are the ones that can travel. But at that length, very full, almost Yorker length, not much to do other than just hit it down the ground for a single.
That'll have to be rebowled. Yep, signaled there. Leg umpire says no ball. You missed the Yorker. And this is what happens.
Well, there are a number of different flavors of no balls. This one is the full toss above waist height. You see the reaction there from Hassan Khan. And then really also from Milind Kumar, who seems to be maybe stretching out his right wrist. Not exactly sure whether or not he injured it. But I think the bigger picture here is that this next delivery is a free hit. Get one for the no ball. This will give us a good look here from the three. Oh, no question. That was above waist height. Here's a free hit. Oh.
That's how you execute. That is absolutely how you execute. The wide Yorker doesn't get much better than that.
That is precision. Another 4 inches outside, and that is a wide that he would have to re-bowl and still have it be a free hit. But that's exactly what you do in that situation.
Just 25 years of age, 𝗍𝗲𝗏. I think he's one for the future. Work for sweeper. Won't be able to work today. 4 runs.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Just opening the face and running it behind point. It is a shot that he plays with precision. Milind Kumar now moving into the 90s, ladies and gentlemen. 92 from 50, 10 fours and 3 sixes. An absolutely brilliant innings from the USA middle order batter.
And it's just effortless, like you mentioned. He's not looking to overhit the ball. He times it beautifully, and his placement is something to behold. Doesn't get punished for the low full toss that time. Close of 18, a very much an eventful over, 165 for 5. Two overs to go. Still Milind Kumar, still Hassan Khan, and 165 on the board as 𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗂𝗍𝗄 has his last.
𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗂𝗍𝗄 bowling in a completely different environment here. Bowled over number 1, took the big wicket of Sharjeel Khan. Over number 3, saw him with another tight, miserly over where he did take another wicket. But into his last over here, completely different game at this stage. He also took a 3rd wicket in his 3rd over. So 1 wicket in each of his 3 overs, but he's absolutely in a different environment here.
You talk about the last time we saw Ghazi bowl, it was in the power play. He would have taken his 3rd for just 10 runs. It was 20-odd for 3. And you sat here now 166 for 5. And he sat there wondering, where's this all going wrong? I had a great start to the day.
There's certainly an argument to be made that you could have possibly wanted to have brought him back earlier, maybe around the 12th or the 13th over. And by the way, let me highlight what he's doing here. Going around the wicket and slanting the ball across the 2 right-handed hitters. That one, Hassan Khan, not quite able to reach it. Now, you said that earlier Hassan Khan was batting on the midland leg. Given this length and given this line, I would expect him to move across the stumps to in front of off stump.
Execution at its very best from Ghazi.
Brilliant bowling. There you saw just a little bit of a shimmy, not an exaggerated movement across like I was expecting. And I would suspect that if he's able to continue finding that ball just inside the wide line, outside the line of off stump, from around the wicket, those are very difficult to hit unless you step all the way across. So you might consider Hassan Khan whether or not he's able to step all the way across. But in doing that, if the bowler sees that you're doing that and then delivers one on the stumps, then you're bowled behind your back. So you have to be very careful here. It's kind of a tricky game.
Fielder, oh, shot short. But get your lottery tickets from Brian Walters now, too. Find him on socials. He's absolutely nailed that.
Well, I mean, it's clear what the plan is. From around the wicket, get it all the way outside off stump, just inside the blue line, the wide line. And if you're not able to come across, then there's no way you're going to reach it. So I think Hassan Khan doing the right thing there.
Well stopped, Ghazi.
You know what? All things considered, this is a brilliant 19th over. My goodness.
Just giving up 2 runs so far.
Incredible to this pair. One on 94, the other on 11, both knowing that they only have 7 balls left in the over, and they're absolutely looking to hit him. This is really brilliant stuff from 𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗂𝗍𝗄.
Kumar could look to be innovative here. Not more conventional, but Ghazi, 3 runs from his final over. His day, 3 for 13. It's 168 for 5. Well, Milind Kumar is holding on to strike here for the final over on 95. Again, I don't think he's too worried about the 100 in and of itself, but has a chance to do that and tack on another 12 runs to get to 180.
180 is definitely on the cards. Easily the bowler of the day has been Abdullah Ghazi, who is going to bowl over number 20 is the question. And that is going to be Zaid Alam. Zaid Alam, 3 overs so far, none for 26, so going at just short of 9 and over. But he's bowling to a man who, number 1, can play shots 360 degrees. Number 2 has evil intentions on his mind. And number 3 only has 6 overs, make that 6 balls remaining in the day with the bat. So he'll be looking to fire on all cylinders here.
The wide Yorker was something that was so well executed by Alam in his previous over. I wouldn't expect him to maneuver off of that plan much.
It's interesting because right before the over started, you saw Abdullah Ghazi walk over and have a chat with Zaid Alam. And I think it would be something like, you know what, it doesn't necessarily matter the length that you bowl, the line is important. And also the length, you cannot let him get underneath you.
This should fall safely. Fine leg third inside the ring. So always on the cards, that shot. And that's why the length, like you mentioned, is so important.
And by the way, I just misspoke. I meant to say he would have said it doesn't matter what line you bowl as long as you bowl the proper length. That length is a length that you can get underneath, and I don't know that you want to bowl that length to either one of these batters.
Again, it's still fine leg and third inside the ring. Ball wins the race, and Milind Kumar, raise your bat, 100. An unbelievable innings. It's come up in just 56 deliveries.
42 for 4 seems like a different match. Believe it or not, 174 is on the board, most of it due to that man in the center of your screen, Milind Kumar. The brilliant innings that he scored, 100 off of 56 balls, 11 fours and 3 sixes, and he's not done yet. But boy, has he lit the stadium alight today.
Not done yet is so key. It's been an innings of patience and then of supreme power. He still has third and fine leg inside the ring. It was about time, sooner rather than later.
I mean, Aman, instead of commentating, you and I need to be on the field captaining. And if we were captaining, we would tell third or fine leg or both, you need to be back. That shot is always on the cards with Milind Kumar.
As long as they're okay with their captain not batting or bowling, I think then I can captain. You might get away with it, but as long as I can as long as the captain doesn't have to bat or bowl, then they'll be okay. But it's just the Milind Kumar show, and we're all just witnessing it live and up close. Alam gets the last laugh. What an innings it's been for Milind Kumar. He's done nothing wrong. He salvaged this game, and he's got his side into a commanding position.
Absolutely commanding position. The damage has been done. 104 is what he has against his name, Milind Kumar. And I will tell you, that smile on his face tells you that he does not care one bit that he has just been clean bowled. 104 from 58, 12 fours, 3 sixes. What an innings, Milind Kumar.
Yeah, and you can see there the recognition of his 100. And he's getting recognition on his way back to the dugout. Mohamed Ilyas, you've got one ball. Just get bat on it. Hassan Khan will run with you.
Exactly.
Powerful bat in his own right. Ilyas plays most of his cricket with the St. Louis Americans out there in minor league cricket. Prominent with the ball. And here you go, 1 ball, open stance. Does he look to be innovative? I don't reckon that's in his repertoire.
Call corner. He's aiming for call corner. That is the name of the game for the big fast bowler. No innovation, nothing but swinging for the fences at call corner. And there's a gigantic gap out there, too. Not that it makes a difference. They'll be running on anything, but that's a good area of the field for him to aim at here.
More towards mid-wicket, and just a single. Will fall short of 180, but 179. Unbelievable, considering where the Kingsmen were, and rescue mission that's turned out into a triumphant day.
Oh, my goodness. What an absolutely brilliant fight back. 99-run partnership for the 5th wicket, and a bonus 37 runs added for the 6th wicket. Excellent batting from the lower middle order, 179 runs.
No question. And again, you would feel disappointed if you're Khulle Sher because you're in such a dominant position. 3 wickets in the power play, 50 runs on the board, 4 wickets down, and you still end up needing 180 in your 20 overs.
Absolutely incredible batting. The last 5 overs, Aman Patel went for 56 runs, and absolutely brilliant stuff. As you see on the batting card, Ramiz Raja started off quickly, disappeared. Shorturl Khan, they did this with no contribution from Shorturl Khan. Raghav Satish make that Awazia, thank you, 4 runs. But Milind Kumar, the big 100, ably assisted by Nkrumah Bonner, 27 from 26. Hassan Khan, and I'll tell you what an absolutely brilliant effort from the man we're just talking about right now, Milind Kumar himself.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. You look at what happened with the ball. 𝗿𝗏𝗏 Ghazi is the name that you want to highlight. 4 overs, 13 runs and 3 wickets. So in 16 overs, they have somehow found a way to score 160 runs. Sensational, sensational work there. You look at the economies, they represent that the rest of the way through. Well, you know, all the action happening. Nate Hayes is around, and he's got the man of the moment. Nate, tell us what you got.
Milind, first of all, congrats on that century. It's one of the finest innings this summer. How do you feel going into the chase?
Nothing. Feels good to score for the team. Chase is like, wicket is a little tricky if you bowl in the right areas, but definitely have to bowl. Looking forward to it.
Now, you got 179 for 6 in the innings. Was that more or less what you were targeting going in?
To be honest, it's like way more than what we targeted. We were looking around 150, and then we got the bonus in between, a couple of overs.
You had the tricky run out there with Saad Ali at 41 for 4. You were in a tough spot. Your communication, though, with Bonner seemed to be absolutely exceptional, running between the wickets, rotating strike. You went several overs at one point without a dot ball. How key was that communication?
Yeah, me and Bonner, what we planned was, you know, take along till the 15th over. Whatever we get, we get. Try to be around like 6-7 over. If we get the, you know, a loose ball, we'll try to score runs, and that's what we talked about.
We got the second innings coming up, and your opponent will have to chase 180 thanks to your century. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Brilliant to hear from Milind Kumar and Nate Hayes, and what an innings we just saw. Unbelievable from a man where we almost come to expect that from him, don't we, Brian?
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Look at these highlights. Just brilliant stuff. I think you just saw a couple of streaky shots to start with. Ramiz Raja got going with a couple of big ones over the offside. Loved that extra cover region for 3 straight shots from Aditya Patel. And then that's the third of them. But after he fell, there was a bit of a lull and a number of tight overs where they had trouble getting the ball off the square.
Yeah, and 𝗿𝗏𝗏 Ghazi was a big part of that. There's your 1 wicket of Ramiz Raja, and from there, you just said, things aren't quite moving the way we need it to. Uzaid Alam got into the attack, maybe a couple of boundaries, but again, 𝗿𝗏𝗂𝐽 was so sensational.
This was a brilliant catch there, just taken so easily by Simranjit Singh, U21 player. This is comical. This is one that you'll not want to see again if you are Saad Ali. Finds him halfway down the track. About the most farcical run out that you can see. But the big partnership put together in Kuruma Bonner and Milind Kumar.
And this was where the game absolutely turned. It was 54 for 4. You felt, okay, the Kingsmen might struggle to get to 140. These two kept going. Sloppiness from Khulle Sher, and then the destructive nature of Milind Kumar just went through and through. Even with the tricks on this wicket, it was not enough to slow these two down.
Looking at Milind Kumar just playing these shots, that you saw a number of times. You and I called it a couple of times with fine leg and third inside the circle. That would have always been on the cards. And you saw how they accelerated beautifully as they got through that partnership. And there's another scoop shot from Milind Kumar.
They batted so well, they took Sarbjit Ladda and Saib Malhotra out of the attack. And then Hassan Khan got in and said, I might hit the biggest 6 of the day. Just into the other ground whilst they're running between the wickets. And a couple of phenomenal, innovative strokes. Milind Kumar brings up his 100 in the final over. And what a day it's been. No ball. And like we said, Milind Kumar just carried his way through this innings.
Oh, my goodness. So brilliant stuff. The fact that he got clean bowled in the last over, I don't think matters very much to him. That's the dismissal there. But Aman Patel, it is an absolutely brilliant innings that you saw here from Milind Kumar. They restart to see whether or not Khulle Sher can overcome a target of 180. Nice and round. That restarts happens in exactly 5 minutes. Join us at 4:15 local time to see that chase. See you.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Well, here we are, ready for the second innings here. Kingsmen put up 179 for 6 in the first innings, and the star of that was Milind Kumar. What an incredible sight.
Just stunning. We sang his praises throughout. There you see a quick summary. Kingsmen scoring all of 179 runs. Dominated by Milind Kumar, 104 from 58. The next highest score, 27, Nate. That was pretty much a one-man show from Milind Kumar.
It was a one-man show, but there was a time, you see the space in between those two dots represents 99 runs. That partnership that he had with Bonner was just beautiful to watch. The way that Bonner facilitated, the way they communicated between the wickets, the way they ran. I could have watched that all day.
It's textbook how to run between the wickets, how to build an innings, how to play to the situation, how to maneuver the bowlers and the fielders such that they bend to your will. It is essentially exactly what you want from a batting side. And again, we talked about the fact that both of these batters are very accomplished. Milind Kumar plays for the U.S. team, scored hundreds of runs in the Ranji Trophy back in India, and then all Nkrumah Bonner did was bat in the middle order for the West Indies for several years. And for some reason, Nkrumah Bonner is on the field driving a four-wheeler. I'm not sure why that's the case, but I think that you've seen evidence that all the hard work is done, and then they just had fun the last 8 or 9 overs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to wonder, with a total that big, 𝗵𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗏, if he doesn't allow only 13 runs and take 3 wickets, what that innings could have looked like.
I'm glad you highlighted that, because 𝗵𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗏 goes at 3s. Everybody else combined goes at over 10s. So take 𝗵𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗏's out and then add it to, or you replace his overs with overs that essentially equate to the overall scoring rate of the innings. You're over 200 runs.
Yeah, you're on your way to 210. Just ridiculous stuff from 𝗵𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. And, you know, if we get a really great innings here, if somebody from Khulle Sher steps up, and they step up from the start, because you're almost going to have to go the whole distance, you know, that innings could come back to be very valuable.
Now, and look, there's a reason why you don't just assume who's going to win and then assign points. You have to play the game. If you were to look at both teams and look at the position in which each team is right now and gauge as to whether or not there is a chance that the chasing side, Khulle Sher, can go ahead and win this game, there is certainly a chance. If you ask me for a win predictor, starting out the gate, I would say 60-40 for the Kingsmen. But I don't know whether or not you're getting to the point where you're expecting something big from this batting pair at the top of the order. Now, if you lose 5 quick wickets inside the power play, then the objective might be different for the Kingsmen. You might be thinking, we can go ahead and get a victory similar to what Stallions X did yesterday and win inside a really short period of time and then end up helping yourself in net run rates. All of that is very premature, obviously, but I think the job right now for Khulle Sher is to get off to a fast start, chasing 9 runs and over.
Well, it's going to come down to start it off with Prince Singh, the captain of the side, and 𝗂𝗺𝗪𝗽𝒽𝒽. 𝗂𝗺𝗪𝗽𝒽 has been absolutely sensational this summer in minor league cricket, batting from the left-hand side. So we got a lefty-righty partnership to start off this massive chase here. Khulle Sher needs 180 from 20 overs here at the 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃 Sports Complex at the Atlanta Open 2025.
So it'll be Mohamed Ilyas to open the bowling from the southern end of the ground. Right arm quick. You saw him for all of one delivery when he batted earlier. Absolutely no pressure situation. Go in, you have one ball to face. Whatever happens, happens. But his main job is with the ball. And he's looking to strike quickly, take wickets. Interesting matchup here.
Interesting for sure. I think the pressure is on immediately for Khulle Sher to get going quickly. Got a very good bowling attack here with the Kingsmen, many of whom played in that minor league final on Sunday. There's a peel right away, but definitely not an LBW.
Yeah, that one is bouncing, excuse me, bouncing comfortably over the top. Mohamed Ilyas is a prolific appealer. And if the ball is anywhere in the zip code of the pads, he's going to go up vociferously, whether or not the ball would have actually hit the stumps. So you can't be swayed in any way by how vociferously he appeals.
Well, he didn't vociferously appeal that one, as Brian uses a lot of big words to say that he's fussy.
Nate Hayes, if you are the first son of 2 school teachers, one of whom was the principal of the school that you went to, the other of whom taught English, you learn words like vociferous when you're 4 years old.
Here you go. I'm 44.
We talked about that.
There's always something to learn in cricket, especially when you're sitting next to Brian Walters. And I can promise you I won't make any predictions that come true today, unlike Oman, so you'll have to wait 10 overs for that.
You want to make me choke on myself. Nate Hayes, 3 straight dots, by the way, to start this innings. Excellent bowling from Mohamed Ilyas.
Right back over his head. Does it have enough to get to the boundary? And the answer is no, and that's just going to be 2.
2 runs down the board. You don't score 180 without first scoring 2. So from that standpoint, it's a positive development, and you want to be able to take advantage of these power play overs. Struck down the ground here by number 58. That would be, I'm sorry, fielded down the ground by number 50. In fact, that's, I believe, 𝗂𝗍𝗂. Going past the outside edge.
Yeah, shorter past the edge there, as Prince Singh losing a little bit of patience there, wanting to pile up some more runs on top of that too.
Excellent over underway, though.
See how he comes down that wicket there, and the length is pulled back beautifully by Ilyas.
Boy, when you're chasing 180, to have the first over, only go for 2 with 1 ball to go is a really good start with the ball. I jinxed them with the best of them, Nate Hayes.
Good job by the keeper there to stop that from being worse.
Yeah, so a couple of wides for the 6th ball of the over. Still have 1 legal ball to go here in over number 1. Khulle Sher is definitely up against it. Lefty now going to be on strike, 𝗂𝗺𝗪𝗽𝒽 Singh.
Yeah, thanks to that wonderful century in the first innings, Kingsmen are going to feel pretty comfortable right now. Won't mind giving up 2 wides right now. And 𝗂𝗺𝗪𝐺 defends it to end the first over. 4 without loss. You can see the Khulle Sher bench there. Patiently waiting to see how things develop. Ready to cheer, I think. And these two need to give them something to cheer for.
Well, all they have to do now is face off against a former Pakistan left-arm opening fast bowler.
𝗂𝗪𝗃𝗃.
𝗬𝗏𝗃 Akram was not available, but 𝗂𝗪𝗃 is. And needless to say, it will be exceptionally difficult to score off of 𝗂𝗪𝗃.
He's been so good since being involved here in this U.S. cricket scene. He's been absolutely excellent.
He's an in-swing bowler to the righty, Prince Singh. He is an outswing bowler to Kunwarjeet Singh, the left-handed batter. So not surprising that there is just one wide slip in the form of Nkrumah Bonner at second slip to the right-hander.
Once again, Prince Singh wants to get down the pitch a little bit, anticipating maybe a good length delivery, but Zia pulls it back.
Such a good bowler, 𝗂𝗪𝗃. And, by the way, was not needed today with the bat. He's more than capable of helping himself with the bat.
We saw him end that first innings in the minor league final with a 4 and a 6.
Well, I also saw him in Grand Prairie, coming in with a very tight chase, needing, I think it was about 19 from the last 2 overs. First 3 balls that he faced, 4-4-4.
That'll help.
It will help. It helped tremendously. So I mentioned to him I'm going to start a petition to get him up the order. Don't know if he'd like that very much, though.
You know, some guys just don't care. Some guys just don't want to bat.
So 4 straight dots, my goodness. Under these circumstances, this is how you build pressure.
100%. Only 4 runs from the first 10 balls. Pressure was there before the first ball was even bowled. It's building up now.
Of course, half of those 4 runs were wides down the leg side, so just 2 runs off the bat so far.
And another dot. That's 5 in a row. As you see the class of 𝗂𝗪𝗃. There's Millen shining the ball.
Bigger issue here is umpire Ravi Balasubramaniam, I think, telling 𝗂𝗪𝗃 he's encroaching on the danger area. You're not allowed to, on your follow-through steps after delivering, run down the center of the pitch. And I think that's what 𝗂𝗪𝗃 was guilty of there.
Straight. Gets over everyone. Very well struck. 4. And the 4 wraps up this over, doubling their score. Singh finally gets a hold of one.
Yeah, skied it. It was on the legs and just good driving length. So 𝗂𝗪𝗃 can either bowl that ball fuller where the batter cannot get underneath it, or he can bowl it shorter of a length that it can't be hit down the ground. But they have a lot of runs to play with. End of over number 2, 8 without loss.
Elias will stay on here for the 3rd over, and he'll start off against the lefty Kunwarjeet Singh, who has not been able to get on strike. Only faced 1 ball so far. fine enough to beat the fielder. Not firm enough to get to the rope, but that's 2.
Yep. Mohamed Ilyas just a little bit too straight to the left-handed Khulle Sher. Looking at this replay, you'll see this on his hips. So from that line, that is easy for a left-hander to put those away. And he's bowling in swing to the left-hander also. So that helps exacerbate the movement down the leg side. All you have to do is just get inside the line and help it to the rope. Didn't quite go to the ropes, but certainly went in that direction.
Very, very full there. Khulle Sher effectively just defends it.
Well, we've talked all week about the fact that the angle that is created. Nate Hayes. Mohamed Ilyas is listening to me and I haven't even said it yet. I was about to say the angle that's created when he goes over the wicket is the better one, and he immediately makes that change. First 2 delivers around the wicket. This one for me is a better angle, over the wicket.
This
in
one's
the air
coming towards us, but just over the circle. Unbelievable catch. Unreal. Milind Kumar's wonderful day continues. That was crazy.
Is there anything Milind Kumar cannot do? Don't know yet if he can splice the atom. He may be able to. That is the most ridiculous catch that I have seen in a really long time. The ball skied a mile in the air, running dead sprint away from the ball, and somehow pulls it off. A ridiculous catch over his shoulder.
This is just crazy, this catch. He was on full sprint for this. Caught it.
One-handed, no less.
It's the full extent of his right arm. He pulls that back in, and Milind Kumar is trying to find new ways to win the game.
Well, what he's thinking is, I don't quite have the player of the match trophy sealed just yet, so I need to do a couple more things to do that. And by the way, when I bowl, I should probably take about 5 wickets, just to make sure.
Well, I was saying that his innings in the first innings, his batting was the most impressive batting I think I've seen this year. And I think that might have been the most impressive catch I've seen this year. All in the same game. I'm so happy to be on ground number 1 right now.
Oh, my goodness. I could watch this on replay a number of times, and it would never get old. Watch the very end of this. One-handed. One-handed. Stupid. And by the way, excellent camera work by the guys at 360 Production. Really good work all the way around.
And this one's well struck, dead straight, and it has enough wheels to go for 4.
Wow. So the new batter is going to be Zaid Alam. That is the one ball that he's faced. Really good shot, by the way. Timed perfectly. Very little flourish. Just an elevated straight drive right down the ground for 4.
We saw a great catch. We see a nice shot here from Zaid. Just a wonderful day for cricket here. Flicked. It's going to go over by quite some distance. 6 runs.
So the lesson, do not bowl at a batter's pads. Look where this ball is, on his legs. You cannot bowl that line. That ball has to be outside the line of off stump. It is essentially a free hit. Not a free hit in the sense that you can't be dismissed, but a free hit that you can swing for the fences. Worst case scenario, you get knocked on the pad and you don't get dismissed. This is the type of shot that any batter under these circumstances wants to play.
Well, you can't get dismissed when it's 15 meters beyond the boundary.
This is true. Much better line. That is the line that you want outside the line of off stump. Single closes things out in over number 3, 21 for 1.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Looks like we're going with Hassan Khan for the 4th over, but back to that catch. That was just something remarkable from Milind Kumar. I love that we get to bring this back up again. This is so cool. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. At full sprint, too.
The thing about that catch, and I hate to keep dragging this out. Yes, it was 10 minutes ago, but we have to keep talking about it. To even get into position to take that catch, you'll see many fielders backpedal like an NFL defensive back, and you'll never catch that ball backpedaling like this. He turned around completely, sprinted forward, proper sprinting motion while looking over his shoulder. That's what gave him the chance to even get close to catching that.
This one off the back foot, racing towards the boundary, but it's just going to be the one. You're absolutely right. You have to get those hips around and go after it and find it again sometimes. In order to do that, you've got to be light on your feet. You've got to be on the balls of your feet or even the toes. Any heel strike is going to make the horizon bounce in your eyes. Whew. This one gets through.
Things do not get any easier whatsoever. Look at this. Look at the bounce. Extra bounce. 𝗵𝗵 Raja doing well to keep it in front of him behind the stumps. Hassan Khan right now is bowling medium pace. He's not in any way attempting to spin it. He's firing it in at pace and beating the batter. 3 consecutive deliveries.
Flights this one. It's directly to the fielder. And Prince Singh has to go sit down. Only 6 from 12.
Easy as you like. I said the first few deliveries of that over, he fired them in at pace. Well, this one he tossed up and put the carrot out there. Prince Singh looking for the big drive. Left armer turning the ball. Look at the turn on this. Pitching and turning away. Just a marginal amount of turn, but that's all that it took to find the outside edge. A pretty simple catch to backward point.
We've seen Prince moving his feet a bit to the pace bowlers, kind of walking himself into trouble, and they pull the length back. And that time he kind of walked himself just into almost a Yorker length, and the ball was turning, came off the bat, right into the hands of the point fielder.
Well, 4 deliveries make that 3 deliveries remaining in over number 4. So you're falling behind dramatically. Going into the innings, the required scoring rate was 9. It has now gone up to 9.47. So you're almost at the point where you need 10s and over the rest of the way, 9.58 to be specific. And you're almost at the point where you're looking for 10 runs every over. And you don't win very many matches from this position, losing regular wickets.
Very true. You've got Agni Chopra out there in the middle now. And he has had a great summer here in minor league, his first season in minor league. We know he plays first-class cricket out over in India in the Ranji Trophy. He's put up incredible numbers there.
Ooh.
Well stopped there by Bonner.
Smashed right to Nkrumah Bonner at short mid wicket. And it just keeps getting more and more difficult for Khulle Sher. Who can stand up and be counted? Is it Zaid Alam, 12 from 4, 1-4-1-6. Agni Chopra just arriving at the crease, but it's going to be a really stiff ask against a tremendous bowling unit.
This one gets through. Just going to be one by, it looks like.
Interesting. No indication from the umpire. So let's see exactly what the discussion is between Hassan Khan and the umpire. I believe Hassan Khan would have been asking for a leg before, not given. Oh, there's the sign. So it's now wide. It took a while for him to make his decision, umpire. But I think Hassan Khan complaining that that one's going down the leg side, and with that new ICC regulation, somebody smarter than me can tell me what it all means. But umpire believes that it is a wide, and so it is the second, I believe, wide of the innings.
And the second wide of the innings, both of them going for an extra run on top of it, and that'll end the fourth over. Khulle Sher in a lot of trouble. 26 with a loss of 2. It's an appeal here. Very first ball of the 5th over from 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁.
𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁 bowling in swingers to the right-hander. A little bit of byplay between 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁 and the batter, Zaid Alam. I'll take a look at this replay and see what the umpire saw. Off or from the naked eye at an angle, to me that looks like it's going down. Just that in swinger, I think it's taking it down the leg side. So in the absence of a more accurate or more straight on replay, I think that that's an accurate depiction of what happened.
Zia bowling over the stumps to the righty here. So you're going to get that in swing.
Exactly what he's trying to do, 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁, from over the wickets in swingers, so it will be pitching on. He's relatively close to the stumps, so that ball will be pitching on leg stump, maybe pitching on middle and leg, and then straightening to be able to hit the stumps. Or LBW, in which case the umpire would have a decision to make, but that's the idea.
Just run to third. The first run of the over. You've only got a few balls left here in this power play. You've got a long way to go and a lot of runs to get. It's not easy, but you got to think you have to capitalize here a little bit on this power play, on the chance to get some boundaries, the chance to take some risks putting the ball in the air.
Question becomes, who do you take the chances off of? 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁 is not an easy man to attack. Maybe Agni Chopra has a scoop shot in his repertoire that he might want to try. But it's not going to be easy to attack these bowlers. 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁, Hassan Khan, who is a left-handed off spinner, meaning a finger spinner, turning the ball away from the right-handers. That usually spells trouble on a turning pitch if you're looking to attack. So essentially you're needing to pick your poison, and you're wanting to find a bowler who maybe not quite as accomplished as the others, but as of right now, that would be very difficult.
Well stopped there at the boundary. Good, we're seeing great work here from this Kingsmen team in the field right now.
Excellent work in the deep. One more ball remaining here in over number 5. Look at this replay again. Cut away. In fact, he tried to cut it. It was a thick top edge, but that is excellent work in the deep to cut off really one run. They only they cut off 3 runs because they only ran 1 on that. So last ball of over number 5. Let's re-bowl that one though. Some pace on that delivery from 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗁. Might have been the paciest of all the deliveries that he's bowled so far.
Yeah, we've seen him a couple of times really put it back into it, I guess. straight. This will be 4 runs for 𝗍𝗏𝗯, who ends a 7-run over. You're going to need a lot more than this. But 7 against 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃, you'll take it right now.
You'll absolutely take it. In the slot, driven down the ground, powerful strike, and you'll take all of those that you can. 𝗍𝗏𝗯 now up to 18 from 9. Strike rate of 200 is what you need the rest of the way. Score after 5, 32 for 2.
So 1 more over here left in the power play. We only have 32 runs on the board. Take a look at the camera crew here. The entire crew here has just been so impressive as Aman Patel joins me in the commentary.
Yeah, Nate, it's been an absolute privilege to be down here in Rydal, Georgia, and experience this Atlanta Open for the very first time. It just year 5, and so it tells you how much it's grown, but also it's just the very beginning of this tournament. There's been 4 different winners, which is really exciting.
Yeah, last year's winner looks like they're doing quite well. Very deep-looking team.
Yeah, you think about what they did to the Kingsmen. They won by 63 runs against the Kingsmen this morning over on the other field here, as Milind Kumar comes in with the ball.
I was coming with some heat there.
Yeah, don't envy Short Car. You could see him waving his arms around immediately.
Had to sting a bit. 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝐽 struck that cleanly. And he's out. He's bowled. Milind Kumar's incredible day continues as he takes a wicket on just his 2nd ball.
Says 100 wasn't enough. A spectacular catch wasn't enough. I need a wicket to my name. And you just take a look at this. It's quick, and it's gone straight through Agni Chopra. Not trying to turn it. It's gone on to hit leg stump. It's the arm ball, and it's what's made him so effective in international cricket. Chopra goes for 1. It's 32 for 3.
Just ridiculous. Milind Kumar. He just can't stop. He doesn't want to stop right now. He's having too good of a day. Cricket's not supposed to be this easy.
And he's become an all-rounder in international cricket. This isn't just something he does part-time anymore. The U.S. team relies on his off-spin.
Yeah, when you've got an arm ball like that, you can see why. That was a beautiful delivery. Not a fluke in any way. My goodness, does he continue to affect the game here? He's got the Khulle Sher on the ropes at 32, a loss of 3.
And again, Milind Kumar is so impressive. You talk about his international success. Back in October of 24, so a year ago, he picked up his first fifer in T20 international cricket. And then earlier this year, back in May, he became the first American cricketer in ODI cricket to score a 50 and take a fifer in the same game. Did that against Oman.
Ridiculous. Well, he's only 2 balls into his spell here. He's already got 1 wicket. He's got the century. He has the highlight reel catch. Just having a kind of day where you'd set the video game on easy, just
Sliders are all the way down. And what's remarkable is that Milind Kumar there were times for the Texas Super Kings where he was struggling to get into the 11. That tells you how deep and packed that Super Kings roster and 11 is.
That's absolutely true. Very deep roster. And also, even though he's not played a whole lot of major league games, they keep him.
Mm-hmm.
That Super Kings team keeps him. I mean, you can see why.
And again, 3 phases is going to affect the game. If he gets to bat or bowl, that's a plus. If he doesn't do either of those two things. We've seen him in the World Cup take a ridiculous catch here in the Atlanta Open. It's just a real consistent thing. He's an absolute gun, 𝗵𝗺𝗃 Kumar. Close of 6 in the power play. It's 33 for 3.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
To the 𝗵𝗺𝗃 Kumar show here at the 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 Cricket Complex at the 2025 Atlanta Open. As we just saw 𝗵𝗺𝗃 Kumar bowl, and you can see just one run and take a wicket on top of his century, on top of the great catch. And we'll have to wait at least 6 balls before we see him again with the ball in hand. With the ball in hand, delivering it to a batter, I should say. I don't want to count him out.
He's absolute lightning rod in the field as well. Akhdar Shah, first over for this man.
So wide to start off for Mario King. We've got 2 righties in now with the bat.
Yeah, Mario King, very capable bat in his own right. So addition into today's team for Khulle Sher compared to what they had yesterday on the board in their morning match. He's represented a couple of different minor league franchises. And in with an opportunity here, need a monstrous innings if they want to win this game.
And another wide. Akhdar played for the Metroplex Tracers in minor league cricket this season. They were on the verge of the Super 8 themselves. So many good teams in the Central, especially in Texas.
Yeah, ridiculous. Again, 𝗵𝗺𝗃 Kumar, member of a team down there as well. They didn't make the playoffs. And again, there's just so many great cricketers. Shayan Jahangir, Harmeet Singh, they weren't a part of that.
Get a wide again. So we're starting off with 3 wides as Akhdar struggles to find his line.
Yeah, this is where run-ups become so important. If you watch Akhdar Shah and the way he bowls, genuine pace, it comes out, but a bit stiff and robotic on the way up and doesn't move with tremendous rhythm. So it's all about what he finishes at the crease. So it makes his mechanics have to be even more dramatically perfect. Any slight movement almost dramatizes and forces those extras.
And we got 4 wides to start. This one will slip away from the keeper enough for them to scamper for a second run.
And you can see Akhdar Shah so disappointed. He's just frustrated with himself right now. But this is the one blemish on the Kingsmen day at the moment.
Yeah, as his teammates just take the time to stretch out, stay loose. See 𝗂𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗃 there. And finds his line. It's actually a really good delivery.
He's got genuine pace, and he gets it to just tail back in. He just got to start it in the right area. And oftentimes, you see this a lot in maybe youth cricket. You bowl 3 or 4 wides, and you end up taking a wicket right after because you've almost lulled the batter to sleep.
Aman, how many times have we seen that in our own cricket in TCL? I think we're thinking of the same people.
I'm just thankful you didn't say how many times have you done that, because then I would have had to answer honestly.
Well, usually it's the wicket doesn't follow if I do a bunch of wides in a row. That's so 0 times. We're only 2 balls into this over after 5 wides so far. 1, 4. And that'll be another wide, so 6 on the over.
Yeah, at some points you're going to have to consider trying something new, whether that's taking some pace off, cross seam if it's just slightly shaping too much for him. Because you got to find a way out of this over. The worst feeling as a bowler, especially as a fast bowler, is that you have no idea what you're going to run in, what you're going to bowl, how it's going to go, and you're almost just releasing hoping.
Yeah, it's tough when you lose your feel. This one full. Just going to be the 1 run.
And what would be disappointing is that off the bat, through 3 deliveries, he's only given up 1 run. It's just the extras you got to control, and that's something for all young cricketers, right? If you look at your overs and, okay, I gave up 3 wides, but I only gave up 3 runs. Phenomenal. Now you got to limit those extras, and that's how you take the next step into, youth cricket to minor league cricket, from minor league to major league, and getting into these opens as well.
And yeah, it's a reminder to anybody watching who's young, who plays a lot of cricket, that even at this level, best of the best across the USA, every once in a while you have a situation where you just bowl a whole bunch of wides in a row.
Yeah, cricket's and sport in general is about how you adapt and adjust and overcome when things go wrong, because at some point it'll go wrong, whether it's you're bowling extras, whether it's you're getting pumped around the ground. How do you get yourself back into a confident state of mind?
Probably just 1 more. He's just conceding singles when he gives up runs off the bat. He has the chance to really recover here. All these wides on the board here, 6 of them. He's still 1 ball to go this over and 9 runs to your name, so he can still escape this in a relatively normal looking way. It's going to go through for a dot, and he does that. He ends the over, 9 runs conceded. 42 for a loss of 3 after 7.
Zayd Alam's protesting. He wants there to be a no ball. And Hassan Khan's now just having a word with him. He says, "It's all right, buddy. No worries. It wasn't no ball. You'll find some runs off your bat." And still talking to the umpire about the last delivery.
It's a little bit tough there for Akhtar Shah. You give up 9 runs and an over. If you just look at it that way, okay, well, it's kind of a regular over, right? 9 runs. If you give it up off the bat at this phase of the innings, in this context, kind of no big deal. You just brush it off. But you have to look at it that way, I think. You can't beat yourself up about all the wides.
Again, it's all learning opportunities right now, especially with the dominant position the Kingsmen are in, with the options available. Yeah, it'll be disappointing, but again, cricket is all about how you overcome the adversity, how you come back. And Akhtar Shah will have another chance before the tournament's done.
Just fended back to Zayd Alam. So he placed in 2-run territory and easily accomplished.
Again, Zayd Alam considers himself an all-rounder. He thinks of himself very highly with the bat. Here's your time to prove it. Either bat 20, score some big runs, make this a game.
Flat bat this one for just 1 run. Now he's starting to slow down a little bit, 𝗍. He started off 18 from 9. He's down to 23 from 19 right now.
Well, it's intelligent bowling from Hassan Khan. He notices the bigger boundary out to the onside, so he's dared 𝗍 on 2 short deliveries to pull him into that deep mid-wicket region. Sensational work to Mario King there. Hassan Khan, he's such a weapon.
Yeah, he's incredible all-around cricketer. Bold. Hassan Khan takes his second. Mario King has to go sit down.
Well, the weapon is firing. We talked about the change in approach to Alam versus King. Much fuller, and really just Yorks himself, a slight bit of turn back. But Hassan Khan, no big celebration needed. This is what he does on a day-to-day basis.
So dangerous. Ball turning so well right now for him. As you said, it is just kind of Yorks the batter. Now we got Ryan Scott making his way out into the middle. Ryan Scott is absolutely destructive. He's played in the Central, he's played in the East. He keeps up that strike rate no matter where he goes, it seems.
Yeah, it's almost shocking to me that he come out in this late at this number 6 position. When you think of Ryan Scott, think about when he debuted for the USA or when he plays for Philadelphia and so the Michigan Cricket Stars. He's opened the batting. He's batting at 1 down. He's not batting at 4. So this is a or batting at 6, rather. This is a very different position. But you like the matchup of the left arm spinner coming back into the left-hander with the smaller left side.
Absolutely true. And it makes you wonder if we're going to see Milind Kumar here shortly. Yeah, you like this matchup if you're Ryan Scott. We know he loves to throw his hands at the ball. He loves to hit big. The original record holder for the minor league cricket fastest century.
Yeah, was disappointed with his performances yesterday. Didn't get a chance to bat in their first game, but batted in their second game, didn't find the runs, and here's his chance.
He pulls this miles away off the fence. What a shot.
Yeah, Hassan Khan's going to want to have that ball back. For all the good he's done, that is a real drag down. Small leg side, and Ryan Scott needs no second invitation. Opens up his day with a mammoth 6.
What a way to get off the mark. But this is what Ryan Scott does so well. Just mash it to the moon. And that's the end of the 8th over. We've got our 50 up for Khulle Sher, 51 for 4. Usman Khadir with the ball now.
first introduction of leg spin for the Chicago Kingsmen. One of my favorite things about leg spinners are just the variety of run-ups that you'll see for different starting points, different lengths, and drastically different lengths and starting points.
Oh yeah, we saw a lot of earlier today. And you know, he has a long run up for a leggy. He runs in from basically mid off. And it's interesting, like you said, the variety of approaches and actions and run-ups from leg spin bowlers. Also the variety of time it takes them to get through the overs. Mohamed Mohsin goes through his overs like he just rips through them so quickly. Lada, on the other hand, takes his time. Usman Khadir here has a pretty long run-up himself for a spinner. He would have had to have been right on. Scott turned around thinking, man, he might go back for two, but Zaid didn't want anything to do with it.
I'm thinking about the leg spinners in this country. I think of Mohamed Mohsin and how very compact his run-up is. And then you think about leg spinners that have come here. Imran Tahir comes from out of left field to come bowl a leg spinning delivery.
Big heave, but it gets all the way through.
Yeah, just look at the amount of turn from Usman Khadir there. You just see that with his starting line, it's going to be very difficult to take it into the shorter onside for the right-hander.
Too wide that time.
Yeah, it's got to start this one on off stump. And from off stump, I think you've kept all your options open. There's big turn available, so you can even afford to go to middle stump and dare Alam to hit you from there.
I'll take the leaning edge right there, but just lands safely short of the fielder.
And that's what we're talking about. Look at the line of this one compared to the rest. It was closer to middle stump, and from there, the turn really affects and troubles Alam.
Osman's been troubling them so far to the tune of only 3 runs from his first 5 balls. And he will end on that 3 from 6. So after 9 overs, we still need 126 runs. Does Khulle Sher to chase down? They're at 54 for 4.
It's not out of the picture yet, per se, but you really need it, and that required runner to come down. So you need a start, need some more intent, and runs to flow from somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will see Milan Kumar bowling from the north end. This makes it hard. Ryan Scott will have the short side of the field to his leg side. And Milan might dare him to go after it.
Yeah, small leg side for Ryan Scott. So they have the deep point fielder. And you see a packed region inside the ring at backward point and third. So they are going to try to tempt Scott into the onside.
All right, goes back foot to defend that one. So we got the former USA batter with the current USA spinner. Well placed there.
I know that hasn't gone to the boundary for 4, but that is a ridiculous shot. Just given how fast his hands had to have been and how late he played that to bisect the field.
The gap was not big. That is not a big gap there. He found the middle of it perfectly. Like you said, he just had to flash his hands there at the right time. And he did that. Ryan Scott, who's known as a basher, is playing some good shots right now.
This will be a great matchup. You can see neither was backing down. And you do feel as if something's going to give here very shortly.
And Ryan will give a strike over to Zaid. So 3 off the over so far. Off of 4 balls. 2 overs left for the first 10 overs of the innings. 𝗂𝗏𝗯𝗡, who started 18 from 9, is all the way down to 24 from 24 now. He skips down. This is, oh, good effort. Good effort in the deep. It would have been a sensational catch. But it is put down. Just one hand, actually, that was just kept in, basically. It was almost like a goalie making a stop.
Yeah, never easy when you have to move that far to your left. Dipped on him late. Again, the test experience came in there. Great athletic play, great athletic judgment as Khulle Sher pick up a single to close over number 10, 59 for 4.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Ten overs are done and dusted, and Brian Walters is back. 59 for 4, Brian. This game feels like it's crawling to the finish line.
Crawling, stumbling incoherently toward the finish line. And that's very much an insult. I apologize. If you have a bat in your hand, you can still score runs. And have an over that goes for 16, 17, then you might start feeling you're in the game again. But if you have the son of a former Pakistani great, leg spinning great, with the ball in hand and you cannot get him off the square, that's a single down the ground, it feels like it's becoming more and more difficult.
Yeah, the required run rate just keeps pushing up and up, above 12 now. So again, it's not impossible yet, but it means you're going to have to take every bowler on from the Kingsmen. And there are just far too many terrific options that the Kingsmen have access to.
It's far past the point where you're going to pick a single bowler to target. Even if that were the case, who would that bowler be? You don't have a bowler here to target. They're all very good. But with the required rate now upwards of 12, approaching 13, essentially, it may be less about looking to win this game and more about not getting hurt on a net run rate basis, batting through the innings. Ryan Scott shows that if you still have a bat in your hand, where there's will, there's a way.
If there's one guy that can get it done, it's this man right here. He's had an unbelievable couple of minor league seasons. You talk about 175 strike rate, batting in the East. That's ridiculous. And if he gets it in his area, he is going to send it the distance.
What I like about that is that he got deep, got crouched down and got under the ball and helped it over long on. Now he's a leg spinner, Usman Qadir, and so he's able to turn the ball into the left-handed Ryan Scott. He may want to go to the googly here, have it going away from him.
You actually, if you want to tempt him out there, you can keep bowling the leg spinner, but you just start it a touch wider, and you then allow him to try to heave that into the bigger leg side. There's a couple ways to go about it for sure, and I'm curious to see how they go about dealing with Ryan Scott as Scott and Qadir have a conversation.
Not sure what that's about. That didn't look very good-natured.
Yeah, look at they're still jawing back and forth.
𝗿𝗲𝗽𝗂𝗽. Usman Khadir seems to be saying, Umper, you gonna let him talk to me like that? Don't know what that was about, but big picture looking at where you are now. That 6 got the required rate down to exactly 2 runs a ball. Goes back up now with that dot.
Still talking. Still just looks and glances from the non-striker and the bowler. This is a battle brewing.
Usman Khadir, last year at this tournament, overpitched a delivery, and the batter struck the ball back fearsomely, hit him directly on his head. He was down for the count for several minutes. I'm glad that that day he's fine, and so far today it looks to be going exactly fine. 2 runs, make that 2 overs bowled, 12 runs conceded by Usman Khadir, end of 11, 68 for 4.
I'm curious to see how urgent the Kingsmen become and when they flip a switch dealing with Ryan Scott. If Scott hit a couple more boundaries, you reckon that they're going to throw all their tricks up their sleeves. Be the second consecutive over of Milind Kumar here. But I think Saad Ali is saying, okay, Ryan Scott gets past you, I might be forced to turn to a Zeal Hucker company.
I think it's going to be a steady diet of Milind Kumar. Ryan Scott loves the ball coming onto the bat. The conventional thinking would be the off spinner to the left-handed big hitter would be the way to go, slower through the air.
Milind Kumar has been described as many things. I'm not sure slower through the air is one of those ways. No, but you're right. There's an ingest there, but
Sure.
Milind Kumar definitely provides that option. This will be his 3rd over, so they'll have one more to follow him.
Milind Kumar.
Coming off the back of minor league cricket, you know, everyone's just a bit preoccupied. The Kingsmen, they were in the playoffs. Some things happen.
I repeat, if your parents were both school teachers, one of whom was an English teacher, you don't miss stuff like that.
I'm not saying that you should miss stuff like that. I'm just saying here's what could have happened. Just providing the Kingsmen a defense.
Oh, goodness. Required rate now at 13, just short of 13 anyway. Now, look, that was slow through the air, slightly slow through the air.
Keyword slightly. He does change his pace nicely, though. He reads conditions beautifully well, Milind Kumar, and you can sense the way he's bowling will just change based off of it. So oftentimes you'll see the quicker ones that kind of dart in and keep going with the arm, but he does have that slower traditional offie.
Interesting. Ryan Scott, naturally very aggressive. That ball was slightly short of length and slower. It seems like the type of delivery he'd want to try to help over mid-wicket, like his first scoring shot.
Yeah, I was surprised not to see that stroke, given the fact that that's the smaller side. So there's plenty of margin for error there. Again, if it was a flipped field and you're hitting to the bigger side, okay, that's the plan, that's the ploy, but rather shocked.
Such a strong throwing arm, Milind Kumar, along with everything else. End of over number 12. Last 8 coming up. You still need another 106 runs.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned a little bit earlier about net run rate, and are you playing for net run rate at all? You can't be. If you're Khulle Sher, you're going to be set at the bottom of the table. Your hopes to get into the next phase are seemingly going up in smoke. For the Kingsmen, they absolutely would think about run rate because they are on the outside looking into that top 3 and advancing into that Friday and the weekend.
A lot of moving parts. I will freely stipulate that you and Nate are much better at this sort of analysis than I am. I can create a spreadsheet that calculates it for you, but you can speak with more eloquence about the actual process of getting yourself into the position of being in that top 3. Now, going back to Usman Khadir, interesting to see the matchup between he and Ryan Scott. See what that looks like as we go here into the 13th over.
Isaiah Adam's been out there for now 31 deliveries, and to his credit, he hasn't looked out of place. Again, the first time you would have seen him bat would have been last year in minor league cricket, and didn't feel like he was this quality. But again, he holds himself in such a high regard, and you can see where that confidence stems from.
Well, you certainly like to see the confidence in a different scenario, anchoring the innings 29 from 32 and pushing on toward potential victory would certainly be something that you consider. Here, you certainly are looking for something more along the lines of 2 runs of every ball. In fact, 2 runs of every ball from this stage on will still lose you the match. You're almost to the point now where you're looking for 2 to 3 boundaries every over.
And Ryan Scott knows that. And so you're going to see him be ultra aggressive, especially with the angle now that's angling everything in to the left-hander. He's going to look to take it into the onside.
Angle it into the left-hander, asking him to hit on the big side of the ground, though. So that might be why he's made that change, Usman Khadir. Ryan Scott is winding up and looking to go big. And you just heard an expletive uttered by Ryan Scott because he wants to get this over with. Wants to, when I say over with, I mean get his, at least the opportunity for the opposition to feel under pressure. Wants to put that pressure back on the Kingsmen. Not happening just yet, though.
And it's important for the Kingsmen now to really win with a margin because you look at the matches to come, the Clarion Eagles, they were the ones who handed the Kingsmen a defeat earlier today by 63 runs at the other venue. And so now your net runner is already behind the 8 ball. So this is your way to catch back up and give yourself a chance tomorrow.
That was a medium pacer from the leg spinning Usman Khadir. Ends over number 13, 76 for 4.
It's a great opportunity for a showcase for these two as well, both of whom would have major league aspirations. Ryan Scott, remember, debuted for the USA back in December of 2021, but since that T20 series with Ireland, where he was part of the team that, for the first time for the USA, beat a full member nation, he hasn't been called back into the squad. So he's looking at that. He's looking at getting back to Major League Cricket, or for the first time to Major League Cricket. No better time to show your worth than against a Major Leaguer.
Wow. You have got to be kidding me. Didn't 𝗂𝗵𝗃𝗃 catch that? That is brilliant. Skied into the deep, and he comes around to his right in 𝗂𝗵𝗃𝗃, makes up probably 15 or so yards, and snatches that reaching out in front of him. Not quite Milind Kumar, but close.
Well, we saw an incredible partnership in the first innings between Milind Kumar and Bonner, and now in the second innings they connect one more time. You can see everyone was just sat there in anticipation and suspense. Ryan Scott can't quite believe that he ends up on the wrong side of this at 76 for 5.
Admittedly, off the bat, I thought that was 6. But I'd also say off the bat, Ryan Scott thought it was 6. Didn't move very much. Thought he hit it out of the park. But a great piece of fielding. Great catching ability in the deep by Nkrumah, and not surprising that he has good hands. Former Test player, as I mentioned a few times. So 6 wickets down, 76 for 6 is your score. New batter coming in, and the hill keeps getting steeper and harder to climb here for Khulle Sher. Slow. 6 down, they're just slow.
Milind Kumar's now taking 2 wickets on the day. I'm not sure there's going to be much debate about player of the match, Brian.
Well, actually, I'm not sure who you'd give it to. I mean,
well, you are the adjudicator.
Oh, I am.
So
I am I not?
If it goes wrong, you know who to blame.
I believe I completely forgot about that. Well, then I should start paying attention to what Mr. Milind Kumar has done. Now, he's not scored 150, so that works against him. He's not taken 5 wickets. That also works against him. And very frankly, only 1 spectacular catch. So I don't know necessarily that he's done enough to gain my vote of confidence. You got to be kidding me here. What happened? Direct hit. The umpire's going to take a look at it. Ahmed Patel, what did you see? Admittedly, I wasn't looking at the play.
It was awfully close. It was awfully close. And as soon as Milind Kumar picked it up, you knew it was going to be a direct hit. I'm so intrigued. It's given not out on the field. Oh, this looks like it could very well be out. Quick release, quick throw. We'll have to wait and see because this one has gone to the moon and back.
Well, goes for 6. I don't know if I have time to go back to look at that run-out opportunity again. But, again, I'm struggling as to who to give this Player of the Match award to. Maybe we'll see whether or not he got that direct hit. Oh, that is absolutely drilled. Maybe after the over, if we have time to go back to look at that, we'll try to do that. Goes past the outside edge.
And you see Milind Kumar there, another variation. That was a leg spinner that he pulled. So he's crafty. Not your traditional spinner, but he's just developed all these variations.
Crafty indeed. So my requirements would be 1 wicket with leg spin, 1 wicket with off spin, 150 runs, at least 2 catches, and a direct hit. So any combination of some of those, then I may consider him for most player of the match. See if we have time to go back to that replay here. See the pickup by Milind Kumar. This should tell the story. Ooh, it's very close. Can't quite see the crease on that, so we may have to take the word of umpire Balasubramanian that is gone, but that is very, very close. Oh, that was safe, in other words, from the umpire's standpoint, but that's at least close. We can stipulate that. Last 6 overs. Last one being bowled here by Usman Qadir. Maybe the point, Aman Patel, where we stop talking about the required run rate that is now north of 16 and climbing.
Yeah, you can sense this game is just waiting to almost end at this point. And again, it's a good opportunity for all these individuals, Simarjeet Singh in particular, a young cricketer who's trying to gain more and more confidence.
Man, to the left of your screen there, Hamad Azam sustained an injury, was not able to take part in the playoffs this past weekend. All the best for him and his health. Tremendous all-rounder. You see everything that he's done. And the man who was sitting to his right, meaning to the right of the screen, Hamad Azam's left, is Anwar Ali. Another tremendous bowling all-rounder, let's call him that. Yet another wide. So a little bit sloppy going on to the back end of this innings.
I tell you what, when it's turning square, you won't mind giving up a couple offside wides.
Appeal and gone. Oh, so the talking continues between Usman Khulle and Ryan Scott. Ryan Scott is on the edge of the circle, yelling invectives, and Usman Khulle is giving it back as much as he's getting it. So umpires might have to get this under control here. But look at this delivery. Back on the leg stump, make the middle and leg maybe, on the back leg. And we may not want to show that replay again because the words from Usman Khulle, I think, speak for themselves. 7 make that 6 wickets down, 80 runs on the board. A nice, cool 100 runs remaining to get him on, Patel.
Yeah, touch quicker. And 𝗍 knew straight away. You don't need John Boy Media to come fill the blanks on the lips. Could be fun though. Could be a good segment, Jimmy, if you're listening.
You know what? That we may have to send this clip to him and ask him to do what you do. Wow. Oh, by the way, I misspoke. It's 88 runs, so they need a cool 92 to go here.
That's Brian Walters in 6 overs.
I will say this. I once went or played a match where we needed 28 from the last over. I hit a 6 to tie the game off the last ball.
And then?
I mean, the game was over. It was tied. This is long before Super. We barely had T20s back then. Right? So.
I thought there was a omission of story because the Super Over didn't go the way it needed to.
No. This is, that was a heck of a googly, by the way. That turned a lot. Asking a polite inquiry. Oh, my goodness. Oh, throw to your own end, Mr. Keeper, and you have wicket number 9.
𝗵𝗛 Raja.
Wicket number 7, my apologies.
𝗵𝗛 Raja thought, I can go to the non-striker's end, and I don't think anyone really communicated. I don't think anyone knew who was going to take off, because initially it was Simranjit Singh, and then Ghazi took off late. All happening in the middle.
So a little bit of spice to end over number 15, 8 for 6. Good spell from Usman Khulle, 1 for 18 from his 4. And you have that wicket that was taken. Realistically, I don't think that there's any way that you can get or can make an argument for Sher Khulle coming back into this game in any way, shape, or form. And about the only thing that you can do from this point on is play for pride as you go into the last 4, make that the last 5 overs of this inning, Nate Hayes.
Yeah, there's not much suspense right now, that's for sure.
No, not much success or suspense, but plenty of spice. And you might have heard some long-distance sledging from Ryan Scott. The young man, Aryan Satish from Houston, Texas. I will be very selfish and say that he was once a teammate of my own son way back when my son played cricket. That doesn't happen anymore, but he's a young leg spinner, absolutely brilliant. Second best wicket taker on his team, the Kingsmen, this year. Has a bright future ahead of him.
Yes, indeed. We have quite a stable of young spinners around the country.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Some very exciting guys. Especially down there in Texas, down your way.
Well, Texas is a great place to have some of the stuff. And the one thing about Texas is that you are found out very quickly if you are a spinner who cannot keep control. Because playing in the East, and we talked about this before, the grounds are almost by requirement, the grass has to be higher. And so you don't get full value for the shots that you do. If you're in Texas, a properly played off a cover drive goes all the way to the fence. And if you're a spinner who can't control that, then you can certainly don't have the same success that you would otherwise. So a youngster like Aaron Satish who can bowl consistently in Grand Prairie, in Prairie View, in Moosa Stadium down in Pearland, those are the types of spinners who come out of the fray.
If you can bowl with success there, you can bowl with success anywhere else around the country, you could argue.
I would agree with that. That's down the ground. I believe that's Sadali down there who does the cleanup work. So relatively quiet over on the way here. 3 runs from it so far. And last 2 coming up here in over number 16. Make that over. Yep, over number 16. And what are you trying to accomplish here, Nate Hayes, if you are Khulle Sher?
Have a good time.
Have fun?
Yeah, I think so. I think just make the most of it. It's really, really hard to come back from here. It's nearly impossible, but you're not going to do it unless you're expressing yourself, unless you're basically trying to have fun.
Oh, tell you what. It's a good piece of batting. He was beaten in flight there, Simranjit Singh. And he'll get a couple of runs. Almost thought he was a sure candidate for stumping that time. That, in fact, is the end of over number 16. 2 more runs come from that last ball. 94 for 6 after 16. So if the objective, Nate Hayes, is to have fun, that means that you should try to take Hassan Khan deep here. He tries, and he succeeds. Big 6 over long on.
Yeah, that's the way. You're going to have to do that a bunch more. But glorious shot.
Abdullah Ghazi saw that excellent spell of bowling earlier from him. Repeats the dosage. Did he get all of it? He absolutely does get all of it. Consecutive 6s to start over number 17. And that brings up, in fact, the previous shot brought up the 100, now up to 106.
2 in a row. Well struck, very clean. Let's see if there's more of this to come.
Look at that, working it into the leg side like a top-order batter, and a couple of runs. So you have 14 from the first 3. And if the objective, Nate Hayes, is to have fun, I think Abdullah Ghazi is taking your advice.
Yeah, what's more fun than 14 runs from 3 balls? That's pretty fun to me.
Well, if it matters, there is the margin of 72 that separate the 2 teams now, and just 21 balls remaining in which to get those 72 runs. So if you wanted to calculate the chances of doing that, you'd be needing to, oh my goodness. This will help. It's a no ball. Hassan Khan complaining, but I think that look right there tells you all you need to know. I don't know if we'll have the ability to look at that replay, but unforgivable for a spinner to bowl and no ball. Let's see here. That is very, very close. We were slightly obscured at the very point where his foot was planted. But the lesson here for Hassan Khan is don't make it be close. You're bowling from 3 steps. Land that front foot 6 inches behind the line.
It's always funny to me how the bowlers know exactly which mark on the ground was theirs. They always know. We're in the 17th over of this chase after 20 overs prior.
Lofted into the deep, catchable, straightforward catch, but of course it's a free hit, so it just ends up being a noisy single. And Hassan Khan is still not happy. Still complaining. Very fiery competitor, Hassan Khan. So you're down to, let's call this happy hour. 1 ball remaining here in over number 17. In theory, you can go have fun for 19 deliveries. See whether or not you can pull up, I don't know, 150 or so to make it interesting. Oh, in the air. Thought for a split second that might have been a catching opportunity to Mohamed Ali's a short cover. Didn't happen. End of over number 17, 110 for 6.
Khulle Sher still need 70 runs from these last 3. It's not very likely at all. But we'll see how it goes. And we'll see who gets the ball right now for this 18th over.
Well, it's again the young man, 𝗂𝗄𝗃 𝗃𝗃. The ball in hand, leg spinner, looking to take the ball away from 𝗿𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗍𝒂. 𝗿𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗍𝒂, I suspect, will be swinging for the fences. He was doing exactly that, coming up empty on that shot.
Yeah, that's a tough length right now with the way that the ball is turning.
One of the interesting things for me is that struck into the air, catchable, and what a clean catch. Take a bow in the deep. That is a man who had a really difficult time with the ball when he bowled, but Akhtar Shah takes a brilliant catch in the outfield to dismiss 𝗿𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗍𝒂. That is wicket number 7.
And this team is putting on a display, this Kingsmen squad in the field today. That is a very good catch after a run. We've seen a few of these. We've seen some incredible catching out there.
Catching has been spectacular. We all know the cliche, catches win matches. But you've seen evidence here in this match that this Kingsman side, who don't really have any very obvious deficiencies, I can't think of any. And one of their major assets is the catches in the ability to make catches in the outfield. Yes, the one from Milind Kumar was spectacular. I would not be surprised if that ended up on Sports Center. But that catch in the deep was not easy. The one that was taken down here at long off wasn't easy either.
And Bonners up at the north end.
Completely forgot about Bonners. That's how many there have been.
Whew.
And absolutely brilliant stuff. So Syed Malhotra, does he channel his inner younger brother here and try to bash a few sixes out on Highway 411? Well, he can either do that or he can just work it into the leg side for a single. Watch 𝗂𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗍𝒃𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 run-up. There are some pace bowlers who don't have a run-up this long.
I was thinking about this. We had talked earlier about the variety of leg spinner run-ups that you'll see. And he does come from a long ways. He takes about 13 steps.
Great delivery of the leg spinner's dream, turning away from the tentative prod by Simranjit Singh. He's 6 from 9. Syed Malhotra 1 from 1. 1-1-1 for 7. Nelson's is what you have going here into the last 2 balls of over number 18.
Yeah, I counted the steps that time. It was 13. A couple of them are really short and quick, though.
Sure, sure.
How many steps did you take?
It depends on what part of my career you're talking about. In the younger days, 35. In the much, much later days, 4. We had spinners on my team who had longer run-ups than I did by the time I got to the end of my playing days.
Well, Well, it's all about having fun by then, right?
Oh, my goodness, yes. End of over number 18, 113 for 7.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites. Short ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Going into over number 19 here, the last 11 balls in this match. Potentially, Hassan Khan will have something to say about that. This is his last over. Bowling to 𝗬 𝗦𝗽liche.
See, he's conceded 30 runs now on that delivery, but most of those in his last over. He was pretty clean before that.
Well, it is now to the point where it is mathematically impossible without extras to win this game. Obviously, you knew that this point would have arrived eventually, but sort of noteworthy to see that that's the case.
Just going through the motions now. Just 9 deliveries left. I know this is a blowout, but it was worth watching this game.
Oh, that was pretty clean. 𝗬 𝗦𝗽liche looking to skip down the track, go over mid-wicket, trying to eye that shorter side of the ground, missing, and a pretty straightforward stumping by Ramiz Raja. 115 for 8.
And this will be Hassan Khan's 3rd wicket today. He's been very impressive, very dangerous. I mentioned he had that one over. It was a bit expensive, but 3 wickets in a day, that's great. Put you in the conversation for player of the match.
Ooh, he's up there, isn't it? It's neck and neck.
It's neck and neck.
It is neck and neck. We have a decision we need to make. We may need to consult with a couple of our more esteemed colleagues to see how to break this tie.
So it's that versus Minley Kumar, who has done absolutely nothing. He
Of
can't
note.
do anything wrong at all.
No. Back to that stumping. What was interesting about that to me is that 𝗬 𝗦𝗽liche made no effort to regain his ground because he knew he was already, 3-4 feet down the track. No way of being able to get back, so he did not even bother looking back. Pretty straightforward stumping completed by Ramiz Raja. And by the way, that ball turned a lot to beat the attempted hoik by 𝗬 𝗦𝗽liche.
Certainly did. Amandeep Singh here.
Worked away into the leg side. Akhtar Shah coming off ropes at deep square leg. Going through the motions is what I think I just heard you say, Nate Hayes, that maybe all that we're doing at this stage with 1 ball remaining in over number 19, 7 balls remaining in the match, a maximum of 7 balls, I should say. Great delivery to close things out in over number 19. Last over coming up, 116 for 8.
Looks like the youngster's going to get the ball again from the north end. The 𝗫𝗍𝗫.
Absolutely. It's going to be Aaron Satish to bowl the last over of the innings. You can get bashed for 6 straight sixes here, and your team still wins in a canter. So literally nothing bad can happen in this over for you, Aaron Satish. The leg spinner with the medium paces run up. Catchable? No. Landing short of Nkrumah Bonner down at long off.
Well, the standard was set so high by this team in the field, and we didn't want to count that one out.
This is true. In fairness, it was landing about 15 feet in front of him. So no realistic way of making that catch. But the run-up or the the standard, you're exactly right, was set by the excellence in the field from the Kingsmen. We're now just 5 deliveries away from this being the end of the innings and the end of the match. Bonner, consecutive deliveries where he has a play to make in the field.
Yeah, that's such a great catch that he made earlier today in his innings. His partnership with 𝗵𝗺𝗻 was absolutely incredible. Just the ease of it. He never looked like he was troubled.
Down the track, that is a hat trick of fielding opportunities for Nkrumah Bonner. As a reminder, these 2 teams are the bottom 2 teams in Group B. So with this loss, Khulle Sher will effectively be out of the playoffs. The remaining teams, Central Cardinals, Clarion Eagles, and Atlanta Lightning, are 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. The Kingsmen are in that 4th position, looking to jump into that top 3.
Well, this will certainly give them a big net run rate boost with nearly a 60-run victory. 2 balls to go to find out.
So, you play for fun the rest of the way if you are Khulle Sher. How many times have you ever seen an over where all of the deliveries go to one fielder? And what consistency from your leg spinner, who's bowling a full enough length to be driven down the ground, but not so full that it can be taken over the ropes. Last ball of the match, 121 runs on the board. Does 𝗵𝗺𝗻 have another big catch in him? Skied. Simple catch taken. It is 𝗬𝗓𝗃 who takes about the most simple of catches at backward point. They end up Khulle Sher with 121 for 9. Another wicket for, in fact, the first wicket for 𝗬𝗓𝗃. In fact, he's taken 2. So 2 wickets for 𝗬𝗓𝗃. But the story of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is 𝗵𝗺𝗻, who I will grudgingly state is probably the player of the match.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if we'll see a better innings for the rest of the year than we saw from 𝗵𝗺𝗻, who built that great partnership with Bonner. But then he came into the next innings, and he was just brilliant all over again.
Let me also state, as the remaining members of the Kingsmen, or of Khulle Sher rather, are walking out to the field to shake hands, that I am hopefully, with fingers crossed, hoping that all goes well at the handshake and that there be no, let's say, hard feelings.
Let's put a graphic up just in case. You see 𝗍 actually did a little bit of damage there. Ryan Scott came in for a quick cameo, but wasn't able to stick around.
Abdullah Ghazi, 17 from 13, did what he is supposed to do. We might want to keep that graphic on the screen for a while. Let's talk about the bowlers. First, let's spell each of their names. Mohamed Ilyas, 2 overs, 1 for 17. And I will say that I am watching with great intent here, and it appears to all be very good-natured. I am loving the fact that whatever it was that was happening appears to all be a thing of the past, as those 2 combatants just hugged each other. I absolutely love to see that. The spirit of cricket wins again.
Yeah, you like to see that. Hassan Khan was good. 3 wickets, went for 32. All of the damage to that and 1 over pretty much. 𝗵𝗺𝗻, look at this. Look at that right there.
𝗵𝗺𝗻, 4 overs, 2 for 20, with an economy rate of 5, the 3rd lowest economy rate on the day. You could make an argument that just with the ball and in the field, he was worthy of player of the match. You could make that argument legitimately.
You absolutely could. The catch that he took was obviously very important.
Well, we will go now to Aman Patel for a chat with the captain of the man who finished, the captain of the team that finished 2nd. Here we are, man.
Captain of Khulle Sher, Prince Singh, next to me. Prince, just in your estimation as a whole, what do you think went wrong?
I feel like we didn't execute with the plan correctly, and like starting with the power play, we didn't, and our fielding wasn't the best compared to everyone else. So I feel like that didn't go as well. So we let them score plenty of runs. That's where we went wrong.
Yeah, you had them 42 for 4, and then Milind Kumar and Bonner had that big partnership. What do you think you needed to do in that partnership to break it?
I think Milind Kumar, we had him out. It was a catch. We didn't get that. So another part, that was fielding. And then I think it was just our bowling plan. We didn't bowl according to the plan. So that's where we went wrong.
And then with the bat in hand, it's a tricky wicket to go out there. Did you feel like that score was attainable?
Yes. When I went out there, I was feeling confident. I was feeling good. You know, I felt like the score, we could have definitely got to there because they scored. So we could have easily scored that. But again, we didn't go as planned.
Well, tough luck today and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Well, you heard here from the captain of Khulle Sher. Sometimes it's a day where you just run up against a team that dominates, and I think that's what you saw here. Nate Hayes?
Yeah, Khulle Sher didn't really have their kind of tournament. It didn't go their way all week so far, and we'll see just how right here, as they tried to get going early on.
Got that big 6 over the mid-wicket area, and Mohamed Ilyas bowled well. This is skied, and this is where we have this man, for some reason, who keeps making cricket look easier and easier. That ridiculous catch taken by Milind Kumar.
Just unreal.
Pretty straightforward catch there, taken off the outside edge. Seen a couple of those. And then Milind Kumar himself again coming in and just clean bowling. Agni Chopra that time. And Hassan Khan tossing it up, knocking back the middle stump that time. This one dragged into the deep, and look at the ball landing maybe several yards over the ropes. Really, you just had too much work to do. Ryan Scott tried while he was there, lofted a couple down the ground, a couple of big hits, but you didn't see much resistance. The asking rates kept going further and further up. That was a clean catch by Bonner in the deep. And then yet, even though you had a couple of lusty blows in that mid-wicket area, just too much to do. This, to me, is a piece of work that you'll be very proud of. Full and straight, bang a target. And a little bit of action there. A little bit of byplay, but hopefully everything would have been in the past. And I believe that that's the case because those two were hugging at the end of the game. So really good stuff in the deep. And at the very last part here, you see that good striking, a good catch in the deep by Akhtar Shah. And this is now going to a pretty straightforward stumping going into the back end of the innings. And by the way, that is the end of our highlight package. Khulle Sher, the first team to be officially eliminated. I almost said intimidated. They may have been intimidated, but they were also eliminated. Back to Aman Patel.
Well, by no surprise, today's player of the match is none other than Milind Kumar. A brilliant 100, a couple wickets, and maybe the most ridiculous catch we've seen. Walk me through what you're thinking, what you're feeling as that ball's in the air.
Nothing. I was looking for the ball and just I caught it.
Well, very impressive stuff. And then on the wicket, you bowled beautifully, 2 wickets. Tomorrow, we've got plenty of action for you, so join us when we return.